All
Oh,
right.
right.
Hello, everyone,
No.
and welcome
Hi.
back to Tyrion Cuthbert, Attorney of the Arcane.
Hi.
Ah,
I've had a rough weekend. I need this.
yeah. Eddie basically got cursed. So speaking of,
Need an attorney of the arcane.
yeah.
Speaking of curse, I'm just gonna curse you all to feel more old. Blue's
Hey,
Clues
Celeste.
premiered 28 years ago today.
Monkey
Hey,
paw
Celeste,
girls
can
who
you
also
cast
feel
detect
old.
magic? Hey, Celeste,
I always feel old, so I don't know what you're about.
can you cast detect magic on my hand?
Alright, it's time for the trial. Just take deep breaths and relax.
Hi, Tyrion.
Celeste, don't sneak up on me like that.
Why are you so nervous? It's not as if this is your first time defending someone.
I can't help it. There's something about this building that just fills me with anxiety.
Ugh. It's too bad Ruby couldn't make it. I'd say that you should calm down for Wallace's sake, but
There are so many people here, and they're all staring at me. Their eyes are prying into me like a pack of flesh-eating maggots.
Remove the John haircut for one.
gross.
Don't
All
worry,
right.
Wallace. Okay. Our investigations revealed a lot of weaknesses in the prosecution's case. We have a strong case for your acquittal.
Okay.
Rex, do you want anything from Arby's?
I'll
Rex?
take a roast beef.
Fuck you, you don't get anything.
French dip. Let's go.
Fuck
You're
you,
hours
then. You're not
away.
getting any cheese curds when you come over here.
Look,
I
if you,
can't just send this hours between two.
look, if you
That's
don't get a
quitter
French,
talk!
if you
Okay,
go
I
to
think
Arby's
she's
and don't
safe.
get a French dip, there will be riots. That's the correct answer.
Because I freaking like French dip.
You want me to get you a French dip?
If you're offering.
If I'm able to get it, I
This
could
stream
get you
is
one.
sponsored by... God, I wish.
Nothing.
Nothing. No.
We have the meats!
This stream is sponsored
Well,
by
actually, not
all you
yet.
lovely
It hasn't
viewers
been
who are
ordered.
totally watching ads, right? Oh,
This-
Lord.
Right. Pulse gun.
This stream is sponsored
Sorry,
by
I need to
hatred
hurry
of
up and order
GameStop.
this because I'm at the end.
Alright, I guess, for the time being, Rex, do you want Celeste? While Sai is ordering Arby's?
Who's Rex?
Man,
She's sleeping.
wouldn't it be, like, fucking amazing
I will
if
be right back,
someone
guys.
from Arby's was actually listening in to this stream and you just got the meat sweats outfit like Sungwon Show did?
Alright, well,
Okay, in that case, I'll remove the mozzarella sticks so that I can get that.
anyways. I guess I'll take Celeste
Okay.
for the time being.
See? You can be confident when you ought to be.
Yeah, that's strange. Something is calming about Wallace's anxiety. It's like he just absorbs the tension out of you and into himself. There is a book called The Bruiser, if I remember correctly.
Wow, he's more anxious than I. It's actually calming. Court is now in session for the trial of Willis Nightgrave.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
The defense is also ready.
Very well. Let's begin the proceedings. Prosecutor Steelman, could you please list the charges?
The defendant is a student at the Wivengard River Imperial Academy. Mr. Nightgrave is charged with first-degree murder, negligent misuse of the arcane arts, and illegal practice of advanced necromancy.
Necromancy? Do you mean to tell me that the defendant is a necromancer?
Guilty! Leave it. Your Honor, I would like to remind the court that they should view my client objectively.
Of course, but one can easily see it from the list of charges. Necromancy plays a large role in the charges.
Indeed. The crime occurred within the Academy this morning. The victim is Catherine Bellwether, a professor at the school. Although there are no witnesses, traces of necromancy were detected on the body. Furthermore, the autopsy report shows the body has no physical wounds.
I see.
Necromancy is the only type of magic that can harm an individual without physically wounding them. Additionally, the alchemist report shows no signs of poison or disease. Therefore, one can only conclude that a necromancer had committed the crime. As many of you know, necromancy is held under high scrutiny by the Crown. Aside from the defendant, no other students were permitted to learn advanced necrotic magic. As such, the defendant was the only mage in that building capable of committing the murder.
I see. That certainly is compelling evidence.
To properly present our case, the prosecution would like to call Commander Orm White to the stand.
Oh boy, here we go again.
Commander White, please testify to the court about the Inquisition's findings.
I'm back.
Yeah. It started when the City Watch got a call from the Imperial Academy. Someone was attacked and the whole building was put on lockdown. We set up a perimeter around the area and waited for the lockdown system to deactivate. When we finally got into the building, the prosecutor personally inspected the body and detected traces of necromancy on it. There were no cuts or bruises on the body either. The entire body was clean. With those two pieces of evidence, we concluded that it could only be the necromancer kid that did it.
The Inquisition's testimony is just as you expected. You'd already found and identified the holes in Steelwind's case. All you have to do is find the hole in the commander's testimony.
Mr. Cuthbert, can I begin your cross-examination?
Alright. Pretty sure this one's just kind of cut and dry. Pretty sure it's this? Seems right. Just kind of glancing over everything to get a better idea of what we've got. I guess it could also be potentially that for the fourth one. I'm not going to get too far ahead, though. I think we're focusing on the fact that there was another necromancer at the moment.
I mean, can't you get the hint for what you're supposed to present by getting to the end of the testimony?
I suppose that's fair. We can see what that does. Are you there?
Sorry, I am in the middle of rushing my order.
Yep, you're good.
We already investigated the crime scene. So we know that the Inquisition's theory contradicts one of the clues that we found.
Right, all I have to do is present that contradiction to the court. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's the obvious one. Alright.
Objection!
Nope, that's not it. Interesting, there's no penalty system. Is it just the fucking... No?
I love their faces.
Yeah, for the twins, yeah.
Fucking Hanoa and Minoto over here.
I don't know what that means, but
When I wasn't able to get you a drink, so you're gonna have to use one first.
Fair enough.
No drink, you get tap water.
And do you like crispy fries?
I love seeing the same person 3 times on the same screen.
Go for it. Buena? Do
But now,
you like crispy fries?
Crisco fries? I don't
Like,
mind.
do you want to mind them? Okay, I'll split those with you.
You could also try this one.
Objection!
Nah, it's not sounding like it. I guess we could press him. See if that opens up a little bit more.
Maybe it is just 4? I don't know.
Ba-ba-ba-ba. Product play. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Okay, you shush. Yeah, maybe it is just 4 then.
Objection!
Okay, there we go. That's it. Yep. We need to establish that the body was wounded and somebody tried to heal it. That's what we're doing. I see. Commander White, it appears that you've neglected to mention one key detail of the crime scene.
Yeah? What's that?
During your testimony, you said that the entire body was clean. I will admit that there weren't any wounds on the body. However, the body was certainly not clean. At the scene of the crime, there was a large pool of blood located where the body was. The blood came from the victim's body, and it was definitely not clean like the commander testified.
I'm sorry, Mr. Cuthbert, but I fail to see the significance of this.
I'd like to remind the court of the prosecution's case against my client. They're accusing him of murdering the victim using necrotic blight, a spell which would not have physically wounded the victim. So why was there any blood at all?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. The fact still stands. There were no wounds on the body, nor were there any reports of poison or disease on the autopsy. There are clearly magical elements in this case.
But Catherine Bellwether was bleeding profusely at some point. How else would there be a bloodstain on the body? Do you have an explanation for that, Miss Steelwind?
No. I'll admit that the prosecution doesn't have an explanation for that. And while I do find the circumstances questionable, all other evidence clearly points to the defendant. Which spell would leave a trace of necromancy? If the victim wasn't killed with necromancy, why was there a trace of it on the body?
I'm glad you asked. I'd like to present a spell that could have left a trace of necromancy on the body. Heal, mend, yes.
Mend wounds? Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that a healing spell?
That's correct, Your Honor. Spells from the School of Necromancy can control the forces of death and life. Mend Wounds, in fact, is a necromancy spell.
Really now? I wasn't aware of this.
Now, I'd like the court to consider the following. What would happen if Bellwether was wounded, and someone attempted to heal her using Mend Wounds? All of her wounds would disappear from her body.
I see.
Do you honestly think I'm that incompetent, Mr. Cuthbert? Frankly, I'm a little insulted.
What?
The Inquisition is well aware of what happens when a mage attempts to save a victim using Mend Wounds. The healers that arrived at the scene already confirmed the victim was long dead. None of them attempted to heal her.
Well, what if someone tried to heal her and didn't report it?
Please. None of the healers would have anything to gain by doing so. In fact, as a necromancer, the defendant could have easily carried out the described scenario. He could have cast Mend Wounds on a victim after murdering her to confound the investigation.
At the end of the day, the burden of proof is on you. But if you could just find out who healed the body, the case is yours. And whoever this healer is, Valentina definitely knows her. Your Honor, I will admit that I don't have any evidence to support my theory. However, I do believe that we can bring it to light. There may have been 2 people that witnessed someone cast magic on the body. Valentina and Valerie Iannis, the sisters who discovered the body.
It is nonsense. We've already questioned the 2 witnesses extensively. If they had witnessed something like that, it would have come up in their testimony.
If that's true, then you have nothing to lose by hearing their testimonies.
God damn it. Very well. If you're so confident, let's hear the witness's testimony.
It seems the prosecution has no objections. However, if this line of questioning leads nowhere, I will see no further to prolong this trial. Do you understand, Mr. Cuthbert?
Of course, Your Honor.
Oh crap! It's that guy from before. Is he the necromancer's lawyer?
She just got on the stand and she's already stressed out. This could work in your favor.
Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court.
My name?
Witness, there's no need to be so nervous. We merely want to hear about you from what you saw on the day of the murder.
You're right. It's just the guy over there.
You mean Mr. Cuthbert? Did this man harass you, witness?
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah. He like super harassed me.
The lion, the witch, and the audacity of this bitch.
One of
I
my
also
favorite
missed that
phrases.
line because
How
you're
shameful.
just
How
so-
shameful.
How shameful. I would expect a member of our justice system to behave more professionally.
I'm about to laugh at that line.
Oh,
Justice
shut
System.
up. Anyway, please state your name and occupation for the court, Miss Giannis.
Just calm down. He can't prove anything. My name is Valentina Giannis. I'm a member of the kitchen staff at Wyvern Guard Imperial Academy.
As I recall, you were one of the witnesses who discovered the body. Apparently, the defense finds the involvement suspect. Rest assured, Miss Giannis. In this courtroom, you will be protected from Mr. Cuthbert's harassment. Now, please testify to the court on what happened that day.
Yeah. Is the only reason they don't have both of them here because they don't want to have two sprites on screen?
Oh, they probably will both be on screen at some point, I assure you.
I was walking with my sister in the West Wing when we noticed something in a nearby classroom. We looked over to see what it was. That's when we saw Miss Bellwether bleeding out on the ground. My sister tried her best to help her, but the professor had already lost a lot of blood. When my sister did that, I used an emergency communication device to call for help. It was too late. By the time her bleeding stopped, she'd already lost too much blood.
Bleeding stopped, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Celeste?
Sorry.
If your theory is true, that means she just lied in her testimony.
No, she didn't. But she sure did
That's-
contradict something.
She's definitely holding something back.
Yeah, she definitely
Is
saw
she?
more than she's letting on. Yeah, she absolutely slipped up with that last line. Just need to prove it somehow.
Mr. Cuthbert, you may begin your cross-examination.
We're literally just gonna present the fucking autopsy report for the last line. Is what we're gonna do. Where's autopsy?
It's the word autopsy
Oh, it
on the
literally
girl.
says fucking autopsy right there. Sorry, I'm blind. It's fine.
Objection!
Is it not? Hello?
I mean, what's her testimony?
Am I crazy?
Okay.
You might want to press things
I
just so
want
that
to press on like what she did to help. Her sister did to help.
yeah, honestly.
That's fair. Trying to help her. Miss Giannis, how exactly did your sister try to
I
help Miss
also love
Bellwether?
that sprite. I love that sprite of him.
Just kind of the hand behind the neck, yeah.
What? I slipped up. Oh, my sister used her first aid to try to stop the bleeding.
I see. Could you please add that detail to your testimony?
Yeah, sure. Sure.
There we go. That's probably what we need. There we go. There we go.
Witness, what is the meaning of this?
Why are you looking at me like that?
Maybe I can elaborate, Miss Giannis. You weren't present in the gallery earlier, were you?
No, I was waiting in the lobby. Lady Steelwind told me to wait there.
Well, I suppose I should consider myself lucky. You see, Miss Giannis, one key element of the case is that the body didn't have any wounds on it.
Yeah, so?
So, please explain to the court, Miss Giannis. How did Valerie apply first aid when there shouldn't have been any wounds on the body?
What? Now I screwed up. I saw the wound on her. What happened?
There's clearly something amiss here. But I'm afraid I don't fully understand the implications of this. Are you accusing the witness of committing perjury, Mr. Cuthbert?
When someone lies, they stay as close to the truth as possible while changing minute details. In her thoughts, Valentina said she was sure she saw a wound on Bellwether, and she also mentioned that Valerie was the one who tried to save the professor. But if she didn't try to save Bellwether with the first aid, could she have used magic instead? Her sister could be the maid you're looking for. The witness was lying, Your Honor, but not about everything. Valerie Ionis did try to save the victim's life by addressing her wounds, but she didn't use first aid. She used magic.
No, he found a sword.
Objection!
Are you daft? Sorry, Mr. Cuthbert, but your theory is completely flawed.
How so, Miss Steelwind?
Well, it's quite simple. We've already verified that neither sisters are mages.
They're twins. You checked one, they swapped, and then you checked the same one. Come on! Jesus. Wait, how can you be so sure?
During the investigation, we had both the honest sisters attuned to a spell compendium.
At the same time?
It's standard procedure for the Inquisition when interviewing witnesses.
And that means...
That's correct. Neither of the Iana sisters could attune to a compendium.
That's right. The Inquisition checked us all.
Eeny meeny?
Neither of us are mages. That was close.
About Valerie being a mage, then? That can't be right. Your thought said he found us out. That means you were on the right track. Valerie has to be the mage you're looking for. Celeste, is it possible for a mage to hold a spell compendium and avoid attuning to it?
No, it just needs to be on the person.
It does it? Looks at fucking Eris in the fucking gallery.
Waves.
When I was arrested, the Inquisition also made me attune to one of their spell compendiums. They were really careful to make sure that I did the attunement correctly. There's no way a mage could avoid attuning to a compendium with them watching you.
Alright, Commander White may be negligent sometimes, but even he isn't that careless.
Now that you're done, I do believe that you've exhausted all your options.
Oh, wait, I'm still not done cross-examining the witness.
What could you possibly hope to glean from her testimony?
Valentina should be stressed out enough to see more of her thoughts, but you can't exactly say that you're planning to read her mind. There's one key element of her testimony that the court is overlooking. I have a right as an attorney to complete my cross-examination.
Your Honor, the defense is clearly trying to buy time.
I might be compelled to agree with you. However, I'll also admit that some elements of the witness's testimony are quite peculiar. I will allow the defense to perform one more cross-examination.
It's close.
But know that this is your last chance, Mr. Cuthbert. If you produce nothing substantial, I will pass my verdict.
Of course, Your Honor. Alright, it's all or nothing. If you can't find anything by reading her mind, the whole case is finished.
Witness, please give your testimony once more.
Okay, damn, how long does he plan to keep me up here? Like I said, my sister and I saw Miss Bellwether bleeding on the ground. We rushed over to her. I was definitely surprised when I saw her like that. Can't go back now, I just need to play down. Now that you mention it, I don't know if I saw wounds on her, but I definitely saw blood. My sister tried to save her, but she didn't use any magic. Valerie, you're too kind-hearted for your own good. Neither of us is a mage. Both of us held that book the knights gave us. I was caught off guard when they asked us. The commander was watching us the whole time. He can confirm it. It's a good thing we're twins, or that trick wouldn't have worked.
Mhm.
Curb, you are 10 steps
Yeah.
ahead of every attorney game.
Waiting on you, Sai.
What?
Yeah.
What are we going to do? What? They have pretty hard proof that Valerie isn't a mage.
Valerie is the mage we're looking for, I'm sure of it. I'm just not sure why they felt the need to lie to the Inquisition. And more importantly, how did they trick the Inquisition?
We know how.
Yeah, no, I'm already 100%. Missianus, your thoughts betray you.
What?
What?
You found the thought. They must have done something, but what? It must have happened when Commander White was interrogating them.
Context.
Orim was the one who collected the statements.
Did you notice anything off about their behavior?
From what he said, they had a few quirks, but nothing too suspicious.
Quirks.
He told me they were running and sprinting around him during questioning.
Yep. What does that mean?
I have no idea. Perhaps there was still an edge after finding their coworker murdered.
Running and spinning. Your thoughts also said it's a good thing we're twins. This means their so-called trick wouldn't have worked if they weren't twins. Switch places with Valerie.
Wallace.
Of course, they switched places. Yeah. Valentina attuned to the first spell compendium. Then she pretended to be Valerie to attune to the second one. Commander White couldn't tell the difference between them. Missianus, there's something I want to confirm. During the investigation, both you and Valerie attuned to a spell compendium. Am I correct?
Yeah, but I watched us do it.
And how did he have you do this? Did you both attune to those compendiums at the same time? I literally asked that earlier. Or did you attune one after another?
What? No, wait. Does he know what we did?
I fail to see how that makes any difference, Mr. Cuthbert.
Yes, I agree. The spell compendiums would work regardless of what order they went in.
You may not be aware of this, Your Honor, but Valerie and Valentina are twins, which means their physical appearances are nearly identical to each other. If Commander White didn't have them attune at the same time, what would stop the twins from switching places with each other?
Objection!
This is clearly nothing but baseless conjecture. Orim wouldn't fail at such a basic task.
Really, Prosecutor Steelwind? You find it hard to believe that Commander White would fail at a task like this?
I heard that.
I'm not denying this.
Wait a minute.
Commander White senses a normality in the Force.
He didn't trick the Inquisition. His sister and I are not mages.
Then prove it, Missianus. Bring in your sister and we'll have you attune to the 2 spell compendiums at the same time.
No, wait.
Order in the court! It's clear that we won't get anywhere unless we test the defense's theory. Bailiff, escort Valerie and Giannis to the stand and bring 2 unattended spell compendiums.
They've both had their hands on the compendiums for the last 10 minutes. There's no way they can fake it in front of this many people.
Moment of truth. You can only hope this theory is correct.
Seriously,
What is it, Prosecutor Steelwind? What do you see?
what I see is Commander White seeking new employment in the near future.
Oh, Gumshoe, your pay is getting deducted.
Nincompoop! Pay deduction!
It appears that the defense was correct. Valentina Ionis isn't a mage. but Valerie Ionis is. What's more, Valerie Ionis' compendium contains the Menboon spell, which makes the defense's theory plausible. Please,
Nope.
just allow me to explain.
Right. It's-
We should allow you to explain what exactly? You're an unregistered mage. And you and your sister have made fools out of all of us with your perjury. How would you know what it's like, Lady Steelwind? What? Did you think we wouldn't notice your name? You're not like us. You don't have to hide. Whatever. This whole situation has gotten out of hand. I didn't think hiding it would cause so much trouble. And I won't let someone go to prison because of me, even if he is a necromancer. Please let me testify about what I saw.
There we go.
I'll tell you what really happened that day.
Very well. But understand that there will be repercussions for your actions, witness.
Yes, I know. My sister and I were talking in the hallway in the kitchen to the foyer. Then I suddenly spotted the professor lying in a pool of blood in a nearby classroom. Valentina used a communication device to call for help while I tried to save her. I saw that she was bleeding, so I cast mend wounds on her to close her wounds. But I was too late. I closed the hole in her stomach, but she was already dead.
There was a hole in her stomach.
Yeah, we definitely need more info on that. Your Honor, as you can clearly see from the witness's testimony, the trace of necromancy was left by the witness, not my client. What's more, it's clear there was a physical wound on the body.
I see. Well,
His words trail off. He clearly doesn't want to pass a verdict when there's no clear culprit, but he has no choice. His case against Wallace is predicated on Bellwether being killed by necromancy. With Valerie's testimony, the prosecution doesn't have a shred of evidence implicating him.
very well. The court sees no reason to prolong this trial.
And Steelwind.
With these new developments, the court has no choice but to find Wallace Nightgrave not...
Objection!
Yeah, there it is.
I'm back.
I believe the court is ignoring one key detail of the witness's testimony.
And what would that be, Miss Steelwind?
Let's re-examine the witness's testimony. Valentina used...
Yeah, we can
Okay.
just... We
Flashback,
literally just
flashback.
saw this. I'll let it happen for stuff that happened prior streams, but that was like literally 10 seconds ago.
Communication device that Valentina Yanis used logs the time of day during each use. From this log, we know that Valentina used this device at 3:04 p.m. This was an hour after the time of death.
Where are you going with this?
Mr. Cuthbert, there was a witness who saw the victim before the body was found, Jan Hughes. He, along with the other witnesses, spotted Bellwether walking the hallways before the body was found.
I was cleaning the halls. Bellwether knocked over a vase. There were shards and dirt everywhere. It was probably 20 to 30 minutes before the twins found the body.
20 to 30 minutes before the body was found. Do you see the discrepancy, Mr. Cuthbert?
Wait, that can't be right. Bellwether died more than an hour before the body was found. So how did Jan see her a half an hour after the death?
I wonder, Mr. Cuthbert, how could one make a dead body move and walk around?
Here we go, time to test my theory. No, you can't mean...
There is more than one piece of evidence that pointed to a necromancer committing the crime. The defendant murdered the victim and used necromancy to animate her corpse.
That's ridiculous. She had a hole in her stomach when the twins found her. Jan Hughes would have noticed that.
Animate corpse stops the flow of blood, so she wouldn't have tracked blood anywhere. The defendant is also proficient with illusion magic. He could have easily placed an illusion spell to hide the undead bug with spoons.
But another party could have easily used illusion magic to disguise themselves as the victim.
If that were true, how did they move the body to the classroom?
I have a theory on that.
Miss Stillman, if your theory is true, it would mean that the murder occurred elsewhere. Will the Inquisition happen to know where?
We do not.
Then the prosecution's case against my client is still faulty. You can't convict my client without more evidence.
I agree with Mr. Cuthbert. With these new developments, the court sees it fit to suspend the trial for the time being. We will give law enforcement time to investigate these unknowns. Court proceedings for this case will resume tomorrow morning. Court is adjourned. I wonder if I'll see Commander White tomorrow. Or if he'll already be fired.
Yeah, no, damn, that was a pretty short trial.
Literally what I've been saying
Yeah.
about this game.
I don't mind it, personally, but... Anyway, Sai. Is Sai not here? Eddie!
Hey, are you feeling okay?
The body is seen moving around at an hour after death. It clearly wasn't Bellwether, or at the very least she wasn't alive when this happened. So, what was it?
Tyrion?
There's illusion magic involved. There has to be. But which spell was it? Could it have been illusionary disguise?
Tyrion!
What?
You've been quiet since the trial ended.
My mom started talking to me from across the house.
I noticed you were muted, so I just stepped in.
Thank you. You're making me worried.
Sorry. I was just thinking about what Steelwind said.
You mean about her theory? It's a little creepy when you think about it. You really think someone turned the professor into an undead?
I don't think so. The prosecution's case is hinged on one clear fact. That Wallace was the only high-level necromancer nearby. We have to assume that he's the only person capable of using that type of magic.
Then how is she walking around?
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. It's a given that Wallace didn't touch the body, so we can discount the use of high-level necromancy.
No matter what, someone used an illusion. But aren't there spells that can create freestanding illusions? Not just disguises?
I honestly don't know. We need to talk to someone who knows about that type of magic. We sure do, don't we? We sure do!
Looks over into the corner, Eris is waving.
Wait, didn't Eris say she was studying illusion magic? How convenient.
Guys, I won the presidential election.
She might be able to tell us if something like that is possible.
Is that really a good idea?
What do you mean?
What if she's the one who created the illusion?
What? You're detecting fear from her again. Celeste, are you scared of Eris?
Who isn't? What? No.
I saw it this morning, too. You always get really scared when she's around.
Oh, I thought I was doing a better job of hiding it. Sorry, it's not based on anything real, but for years I've been working as a mercenary. When you do that kind of work, you build up an instinct to danger. Kind of have to if you want to stay alive.
Sorry, I never knew.
Tyrion, I've fought literal monsters and barely escaped with my life. But when I'm near Eris, none of those creatures come even close. I get this feeling like I'm in front of a predator that I couldn't ever hope to beat. Every instinct I have tells me to run whenever she's close by.
I understand that. Really? But she doesn't seem that dangerous. Tyrion, you literally had a nightmare involving her. Shut up.
I know. I think I'm just anxious or something. I should know better than anyone not to judge people by their appearance. That's sorry. Forget I said anything. If you think we should talk to her, then we should do that.
I don't want to discount Celeste's instincts. She's always been reliable, and if Eris is making her scared, that must mean something. But if Eris really is that dangerous, then that's all the more reason to talk to her. But aside from that, there was also something else the prosecutor said.
Talk
She
to the
said,
janitor.
along with another witness. That means there was another witness that saw Bellwether walking around.
Right, and Dion probably isn't the most reliable witness.
It's probably the other girl that had the rapier. Fucking white
Maybe.
schnee looking ass.
So talking to that other person might help us figure out what happened, if we can trust a Schnee. But do you think Steelwind will tell us who that witness was?
At this point, we won't lose anything by trying. In any case, it looks like you have to have your work cut out for you. So, where should you start first?
You should sneak on over there.
Fuck off.
Never. You're stuck with me. Oh, hey, we're in a graveyard.
Tyrion, what are we doing here?
This is Eris's address. I'm not sure. For some reason, you felt drawn to this place. Wait, is that Eris? Celeste points further into the cemetery.
Live a mausoleum.
There you see Eris standing in front of a gravestone. She's placing flowers on it, appears to be chanting a short prayer.
I'm sorry.
I can't make jokes ever.
Curb has the same prediction energy for this game that I do with the Zero Escape game.
God. Very funny.
Well, we found her.
We should probably talk to her later. It would be rude to disturb her now. As you're about to leave, Eris suddenly turns to face you. She's far away, but you can see her
hello.
beckoning you over.
So I'm sorry, what did I miss?
Were you two looking for me?
After essentially the prosecution's plan is okay, but actually the victim was animated like a zombie to move to the location, and we're just trying to figure out that if illusion magic was used in general.
Yep.
And what well.
And after we mentioned looking into Eris, Celeste was like, I don't trust her. I know I shouldn't judge things based on appearances of all people, but like, I've faced monsters, and anytime I'm around Eris, they do not compare. So like, yeah.
And then also brought up, oh yeah, also someone else saw the victim walking.
Yep.
Wonder if Steelman will let us talk to them. Out of character might be Weiss Schnee.
And Anyways, sorry, we were looking for you, but we understand if you'd rather talk later.
No, Did you have something you want to talk to me about?
Well, we wanted to ask you some questions about the case.
Oh?
Can we examine the background?
You just check the gravestone she put flowers on. It's hers.
This was my first time watching a court trial. You were
Here.
truly remarkable.
Here lies Eris's hopes and dreams. What a baby.
Thank you. Were you in the gallery?
I always enjoyed watching physical battles in the theater. But I see now that battles of witches can be just as entertaining to watch.
I like her.
Oh, I was already unmuted. What the heck?
Yeah, I know what you mean. You see, the odds are stacked against him. But then he suddenly pulls out this crazy deduction and steers the trial in his favor.
I've never really thought of it like that.
But I'm sure it's far more entertaining to be the one making the deductions.
Um,
Isn't that right? Isn't that right, Iris?
I'm not really sure what you mean. I practice law so that I can help those persecuted by the justice system. I don't really do it to entertain myself.
But is that really true? Don't
Whoa.
you find the experience even the least bit entertaining, Tyrion?
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I need to try clipping that.
I wouldn't really put it that way.
You're far too modest. You save people from the clutches of death. To your clients, you might as well be a knight in shining armor.
Also, I just realized, it's really cool that anytime that's coming up, it actually just does the line in real time instead of having it go through instantly like I said it. It's really cool. If I do that again, I wonder if it'll pop up again. I'm curious, hang on.
I hope
Nope, it sure doesn't.
Doesn't. Oh my
It
god.
sure does. Oh, no, there it is.
Cool.
What? What?
Shit!
Did you really think I'd do it again?
Oh! Oh, that's funny!
Game!
Oh,
Holy
What did I
shit!
just come back to?
oh my god!
Holy shit!
Oh
Contact.
my god! So Pokemon's clipping the first time we saw this pose earlier in this scene, and I went through it because I wanted to see if it would do it again.
She didn't, but she has medium awareness.
Just to bring up, the text is the exact same.
It's just that the pose changes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so funny! I love this game. Oh, what?
Never you mind.
You're doing it again. You're doing
He's
it
not
again.
gonna do it again. Oh, she did.
I wanted to see if it just caught that.
Oh.
Oh,
Examine
that's so
Examine. Examine, please.
good. Well, I mean, first things first. Okay.
What about that?
It's the grave that Eris was at earlier. The name on the stone says Emily Grant, and her lifetime appears to have been awfully short. Wasn't Grant the first person that Pierce killed? Am I crazy?
Oh.
Wasn't
that
that
was
the
McCoy,
sister
wasn't
of
Or... Oh, fuck, now I don't remember.
No, his name was McCoy. They were McCoys. Interesting. She must have only been 12 years old when she died. It's great for an individual that you don't know. It'd be best to leave it undisturbed.
I'm curious about the one with the the symbol on it.
It's gonna give me
Oh.
the same thing. Yeah.
I think the one on the far right, though, still did. Oh, it did have a check mark. It was just
Yeah.
cut off by
Any of the other gravestones that we can look at are all just kind of that same thing. It's just this one that has unique text, it looks like.
Detect magic.
Nah, nothing.
Nothing.
Am I really going to defile this grave in the name of evidence?
Of course
Of course I am.
Earlier you said that you were studying illusion magic.
I am. Did you want to ask me about Rasputin's theory?
Yes, actually. How did you know?
It was easy. It was easy to guess after seeing you in the courthouse. Anyway, disguising an undead with illusion is definitely possible. And as Lady Stewart said, illusory disguise would be the best spell to use for that.
What if someone created a freestanding illusion?
A freestanding illusion?
Yeah, we know that Wallace didn't animate and disguise the professor's corpse. So what if the illusion wasn't disguising anything? Maybe someone created a freestanding illusion of Bellwether walking around?
Or something like that. One would probably use Major Illusion.
Creates a three-dimensional illusion. The illusion can take the form of an object or creature that can be contained within a 10-foot cube. While concentrating, the caster can animate and move the image to a different location within range. The illusion is purely visual and can't be physically touched. What do you mean within range? There's no range listed.
Miluso. Also, this can't be. This alone cannot be what Jan saw, because she did knock into a vase and break.
Yeah. Can't be physically touched. That is very correct. Yeah, no, this isn't. Yeah, that is correct. But I already have a theory. I've already said my theory on what I think actually happened that would have worked. Haven't had anything contradict my theory so far.
I have a mouthful. Oh my word, I have a mouthful here. Hang on.
Yep.
Is it delicious?
And
At
stop
least?
eating.
Yes, it is.
Do you have
What
the
is it?
meats?
Yes, the meats and the cheeses.
I don't think Major Illusion is what we're looking for. You remember what Jan said? Oh, we're literally bringing this up now, yeah. Yep. If the bellwether that Jan saw was a major illusion, then she couldn't have knocked over the vase. Illusions created by that spell don't have any mass.
Gee, how perceptive of you.
Aren't there any other illusion spells that do have mass?
Please
No.
say that again, but slower.
No. Illusions can only recreate visual and auditory sensations. But there isn't a single illusion spell that someone can touch.
Unless you're talking illusory dragon, but that's like 8th level spell.
So that means that someone disguised something to make it look like Bellwether.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they killed her
Why,
and
look-
stuffed her into one of the constructs, like an animatronic.
I
Why are you scared
mean-
of me, Celeste?
Sorry, I wasn't.
Calm down, I'm only joking. I don't blame you for considering every possibility. In fact, I'm flattered you think I'm capable of pulling off such an elaborate ruse.
Mm-hmm.
I love this crazy bitch.
Anyways, this does tell us one important thing.
What's that?
The bellwether that Jan saw had a physical mass to it. It wasn't a freestanding illusion, it was someone, or something, disguised as bellwether. Oh. Jan's statement has been
Okay.
updated to your notes.
Why
That's,
is Jan's statement having the scariest artwork here, aside from a necromancy spell?
Anyways.
I'm sure it's fine.
It's quite a shame, isn't it?
Eris looks pensively at the gravestone. The name on the stone says Emily Grant, and her lifetime appears to have been awfully short. She must have
I
only
remember
been
where
12
that name
when
is
she
from.
died.
I remember what it's the prologue for case 2.
Oh, that's right. It was Wallace's sister. Sorry for interrupting you. Was she someone you knew?
Not personally.
Yeah.
I'm actually here on Wallace's behalf.
Yeah.
Wallace knew her?
It's Wallace Grant, that's right.
Wallace joined the Academy as part of a program run by Headmaster Redmond. At the time, the Headmaster was breaking out to mages among the common folk.
Yeah,
He had started a program to admit these mages to the Academy without having paid tuition.
right. He learned necromancy to try and save her. That's right.
Both Emily and Wallace were among those mages.
Wow. That must have been an amazing opportunity for them.
The truth is, neither of them actually cared about learning magic. The real problem was that Emily had a terminal illness. She and Wallace were poor orphans, and they obviously didn't have the resources to treat it. But if they enrolled in the Academy...
The Academy would be obligated to give her medical treatment.
The Imperial Academy teaches the best mages in the kingdom. They thought that curing her illness would be an easy task for the Academy's healers. But they were mistaken, I'm afraid. I'm sure you know this by now, but healing spells can only treat wounds. They can't cure illnesses. Emily's condition only got worse over the years, and eventually she succumbed to her illness. Wallace was furious. He didn't understand why the king was outlawing magic that could save lives.
And that's why he decided to learn it himself.
Yes. The headmaster was inspired by Wallace's resolve. He gave him access to the Academy's forbidden tomes of necromancy. And Wallace taught himself the spells that he knows today.
So, that's why.
It was supposed to stay a secret between him and the headmaster. But I'm sure you know how that turned out.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna do it again?
Damn. Oh god. Alright, let's go back to the library, I suppose. Oh, hello.
Oh, it's you, Mr. Cuthbert.
Steelwind, what are you doing here?
After what happened at the trial yesterday, I decided it would be best to start my investigation here, without the commander.
Right. Wallace was in the library for the entire morning. So it would make sense that she'd start her search here.
Actually, since I have you here, have you seen Eris Mater anywhere? It's my understanding that you're both acquainted with each other.
Eris, what do you want with her?
It's not for anything serious, mind you. It's just that oaf of a commander lost a spell compendium.
Oh, did he now?
Convenient.
Now we need to produce another one for our records.
Mm-hmm.
If you see her, please let her know that we'd like to speak to her.
We saw her earlier in the cemetery nearby, but I have no idea where she is now.
Once again, I had to compensate for that idiot's mistakes.
Anyways, I was wondering if I could ask you some questions about the case.
Very well. I suppose I still need to honor our deal from earlier.
Have you had any luck finding the scene of the crime?
Unfortunately, I haven't. Oh, my voice. From the witnesses' testimonies, we have a rough idea of the road Bellwether took. It was a straight fucking line. But none of the rooms we've checked have any signs of a struggle.
Why are you so sure that a struggle happened?
I'm mainly basing that off the Ionicist's testimonies. Valerie, in particular, noticed the bleeding came from a wound in the stomach. Regrettably, the body's wounds were mended. So we can't determine what kind of weapon the murderer used.
Didn't you literally take a rapier? Come on, girl. I thought you were ahead of this fucking case. What's your deal? Alright.
Commander White is her deal.
During the trial, you mentioned that another witness saw Bellwether walking around yesterday. Would you be willing to tell us who that person is?
I'm sorry, but I can't tell you that.
You caught a little off guard.
You were accused of harassment.
You've been pretty transparent with your investigation so far. What's changed?
I have no obligation to justify myself to you. Nor do I have an obligation to help the opposition.
Didn't we have a deal? Getting information doesn't exactly seem fair to us.
I believe I've given you plenty of information already. So regardless of what I said before, the answer is still no.
The Eye of Horus catches a stray thought from her. Her family is dangerous. What does that mean? Yeah, she's a Schnee. Is there something about this witness's family that you're worried about?
She's an heir to a dust company, and she can order you dead 3 different ways.
I'm sorry, but you'll have to try harder than that if you want to bluff me.
She referred to the witness as her. Furthermore, she said that her family is dangerous. Why would she go to such lengths to hide the witness's identity? In any case, it looks like she's not willing to share more at the moment. Maybe you should try looking somewhere else. That's not gonna help us here, so... Locker room, hello. Knock knock! You spend some time wandering through the academy when you overhear a conversation from a nearby room. I believe I was Theodore. What I understand... Actually, you know what? No. Min, you don't have a character, like, at all at the moment, so if you want to take Theodore, go for it.
From what I understand, Miss Steelwind has already moved the investigation elsewhere. How long must I wait before I can retrieve my...
No, goddamn it!
You were saying I should take
Sorry,
the
old-timer.
professor.
Orders are orders.
Yeah, go for it.
Just, don't worry, it's just Curb rolling a nat 1 on his perception checks, it's fine.
God damn it.
Nothing comes in or out until this case is over and done with.
Commander White and Headmaster too.
Oh, hello, Mr. Cuthbert.
Hey, kid.
In any case, there are other matters I must attend to. Please inform me when I can reclaim my things.
I just realized on fucking Redmond's attire, the ribbons on the sign literally just say HM going down.
That's fun.
Sure.
Yeah, it literally is. Oh, that's cute. That's cute. Looks like Commander White is standing guard in front of the locker room. And it doesn't look like he's conducting any sort of investigation. Is he here on Steelwind's orders? He might be able to tell you who the secret witness is. What was the headmaster talking to you about?
Well, supposedly he has some items stored in one of the faculty lockers. Problem is, Steelwind said no one gets in or out of this room. Except for her and you two, apparently. She won't even let other knights in here.
Really? Is that normal?
Nope. But things rarely are when she's calling the shots.
Why would she give you access to the crime scene if she isn't even letting the knights in? Steelwind's orders have been added to your notes.
I don't know what her deal is, but she's been acting strange lately. She's been real paranoid, that girl. Frankly, I can't tell what's going through her head.
Zoom in on her brain, like inside out.
You mentioned that prosecutor has been paranoid lately. Do you think it has something to do with this case?
Nah, it started way before that. Lately, she's been using the Inquisition to investigate a lot of non-magical homicides.
What? Wouldn't it be easier to work with the relevant law enforcement for that?
I don't know why. right, but she's convinced that these cases have magic involved. But we scanned each and every one of those crime scenes. Nothing turned up.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, though, if it weren't for the scans, I might actually agree with her.
Why do you say that?
Those homicides. Haven't ever seen anything like them. Probably some of the most screwed up cases I've ever handled. For one of those cases, we had ourselves a disgruntled spouse. She found out that her man was going around with a barkeep. And you know what the spouse does? She stalks the poor woman. Starts leaving threatening notes all around where she worked. Barkeep told the City Watch all about what was happening. But no matter how much they staked out the tavern, they could never catch the perp. Then one day, barkeep arrived home. But little did she know, spouse was waiting there for her. Oh, poor lady never had a chance. And to tie the whole thing together, the spouse waits for the husband to get home. She cooks him a big roast, using the barkeep's remains.
I'm eating here.
We have the meats!
No!
Shut the fuck up.
It is canonical that the Dark Urge in Baldur's Gate 3 does enjoy the taste of roast dwarf.
Stop it! Stop it!
Oh no.
Also enjoys the taste of roast gale.
Also, to be clear, yeah, no, paranormal shit is gonna become a big thing later in this game, apparently. Yeah, yep. So, you good?
Oh.
Yeah.
That story is pretty.
I know. Still one thing, someone's developed a new type of magic that can control people's minds. These homicides were some kind of sick test run.
Magic that can control people's minds.
But wouldn't Mage Blight make more sense?
Mage Blight?
When a mage overuses their magic, it can have pretty bad consequences on their mind. They temporarily lose grip of reality and begin seeing things that aren't there. When a mage becomes like that, it almost never ends well. They enter a frenzy and begin firing spells randomly, which only makes it worse.
I've seen my fair share of Mage Blight cases, and this isn't like that. Not all the perps were mages. The ones that were didn't even use their magic. One thing that was that each of the perps almost seemed to wake up after we arrested them. All of them said things like, "It wasn't me," or "I didn't have a choice."
They didn't have a choice? What could that mean?
I doubt it means anything. Sometimes people can't face the things they've done. It's easier to say that you had no control than to take responsibility.
Eris, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah. You wonder if you can mislead the commander into revealing who the secret witness is. During the trial, Miss Steelwind mentioned that someone other than Jan Hughes saw Bellwether walking around. Have you seen them around lately? We wanted to speak with them.
You had one fucking job.
Nice try, kid.
Well, it was worth a shot.
I just want to note that smile sprite is directly taken from Tigray.
Yeah, honestly.
Yep. Wait, not Tigray, Gato.
Oh, yeah,
It
Gato.
is absolutely Godot's grin. Yeah.
I could see it from either, honestly,
It's
but
it's a very tropey pose, yeah.
Honestly, I couldn't tell you if I wanted to. I don't think anyone other than Steelwind knows who this witness is. But I sure as hell don't.
she don't trust me anymore.
She's even hiding it from the Inquisition commander? Why's she being so secretive? Looks like the commander doesn't know who this secret witness is either.
This isn't getting us anywhere.
Steelwind's
Trust me,
behavior is
Commander,
strange, though.
This is for your sake.
Perhaps you could try analyzing her behavior. If you do that, you might be able to find a way to convince her to help you. Okay, Steelwind's behavior has been strange this time around. She's hiding elements of the case, even from the commander. Anyone can tell that she doesn't have much faith in him.
I'm standing right here.
This is the first time I've seen her hide key details of a case from him. There has to be a reason she's being so secretive. Paranoia, for sure. Her actions must be driven by paranoia. She's been hoarding information about the case. The only reason why she wouldn't utilize the Inquisition like this, as she usually does, is because she doesn't trust them.
I hate to say it, but that really doesn't surprise me. She's always been standoffish with us.
But there is one exception. There are individuals who she's trusted more than the Inquisition during this case. I mean, me. She's let us investigate the crime scenes without any restrictions.
Yeah, I never really thought about that. Does she trust us that much?
I don't think that personal trust is the reason. We usually don't interact with her, and she's worked with the Inquisition on plenty of cases that we weren't even involved in. Capable. I think that's it. No?
Oh.
Tyrion isn't a member of the nobility.
No. Of the Inquisition? No. Controlled by the nobility, maybe? There we go. Yep, that's it. Steelwind doesn't know much about us, but she does know that we aren't prone to noble corruption.
Right. You indicted a noble during that case.
Indicted, for the record.
Fuck off.
Meanwhile, the Inquisition usually bends to the nobility's whims.
Well, I can't argue with you there.
Using my insight, I could tell that she's worried about the witness's family, and if she's worried about corruption from the nobility, that can only mean one thing. The witness has to belong to a noble family. That's why she's so wary of interference.
But we're obviously not going to do anything corrupt. Why is she hiding the witness's identity from us?
You recall seeing a thought through the eye. I think she's worried about our safety.
Yeah, I guess harassing a noble could put you in danger. But
I'm the protege of the infamous Ruby Tamora.
Yeah, it's not as if we aren't already on the nobility's bad side. I'm sure the Pierce family still has it after us.
This can only mean that the family we're dealing with is even more powerful than that of House Pierce. If the prosecutor is wary of them, they could be even more powerful. They could even be as powerful as the Steelwinds.
wait, don't tell me you think we're dealing with one of the four pillars.
One
What?
fucking job!
It's a name people use for the top four noble houses. These families stand at the top of the kingdom's aristocracy. If I recall correctly, the four pillars are House Freyga, House Freyga, House Von Sanctus, House Sybil, and House Steelwind.
Steelwind isn't part of one of them?
Yeah, which makes it so much weirder that she's serving as a prosecutor.
What is it?
Steelwind's weird behavior all started after she investigated this room. We were at the crime scene. She left to follow a lead. But an hour later, she came back to the lecture hall and booted everyone out.
Her behavior changed after investigating this room? I mean, she found something here.
And that something must point to a family from the Four Pillars.
The commander looks a bit anxious.
You know, Steelman's orders say I can't snoop around here. But you two, on the other hand...
Don't worry, just leave it to us.
I have some school records that say which locker belongs to which student. You can use it to tell whose locker you're looking at.
Excellent.
Commander White, being fired is the least of your troubles.
Oh! There's an arcane construct in the back here.
Oh, is there now? It's probably here to aid the students. Anyway, I don't think it's relevant to our investigation. I disagree, Tyrion! But perhaps you should make a small note of it anyways.
It looks like the Shredder.
And it sounds like the murdered victim.
It sure does. If you use the legend that the commander gave you, you look carefully across the list and find some notable student names. Oh, Freyga, hello. Oh, wow, yeah, no, literally these three. What the fuck?
Oh, hey, Wallace. Let's look at Wallace's first.
Yeah, no, we'll look at Wallace. You open Wallace's locker. Inside, you find a bottle of fragrant liquid and something that looks like a makeup kit. What the fuck?
Huh. I didn't expect Wallace to use stuff like this.
It does seem strange, but it's not your place to judge. Anyway, you should try looking through the other lockers. You use the legend that the commander gave you. You look carefully across the list and find some notable student names. I imagine that that's actually, like... Eris's. Yeah, no, I was... Alright.
Eris seems like the kind of controlling friend that absolutely
Hey, can you keep
would
this in your
borrow some
locker for
space.
me? I don't have one. You open the locker with Miriam Freyga's ID number. Inside, you find a stack of worn-out textbooks and notebooks. Wait a minute. These notebooks all have Wallace's name on them. You open the notebook and look through its pages. It appears to be research on the art of necromancy.
Oh.
These are Wallace's notebooks.
But why are they in Miriam Freyga's locker? Did Miriam steal his things?
What's going on here? You and Celeste check the locker more thoroughly. No, okay, I see what's going on. All of the lockers got shifted over one because the headmaster hid something in one of them.
Wait a minute. Tyrion, look at this!
That's blood.
You used the legend. Let's look at Jaden.
You open Jaden's locker. Inside, you find several bottles of some kind of transparent lotion. Yeah, there's nothing but lotion in here.
Oh.
Wonder why a student would need this much lotion. You take one of the bottles to inspect it more closely.
Oh wait, Tyrion, don't touch those with your hands!
It's some kind of sanitizing liquid. It's a little strange, but it doesn't seem to be related to the case. You use the legend that the commander gave you. You look carefully across the list. Yeah.
They're just hoarding hand sanitizer in their locker.
Yeah. You open Warren Sybil's locker. Inside, you find some textbooks and a neatly stacked deck of tarot cards.
Oh, it's like those cards that fortune tellers use.
I wonder if this student studies divination magic. But anyways, I don't think this is related to the case. You use... Yeah.
You say as you add it to your notes.
We found a few things, but I can't really make sense of any of it.
We should look at this from the prosecutor's perspective. Steelwind found something in one of the lockers. And whatever that was, it made her extremely paranoid. No matter how we look at it, that's you.
No matter how we look at it, We found some insanely suspicious things in Frega's locker. It had Wallace's notebooks and even some blood.
But the blood is certainly strange. It implies that something bloody was stored there.
Do you think somebody stole it?
No, actually. I think it was Steelwind who took it.
Oh, right. Orin mentioned that she investigated this room.
It was the rapier.
Mm-hmm.
She must have taken the bloody item as evidence.
But with that said, there's something else that's strange about Miriam Frega's locker. It had a lot of Wallace's possessions. It's possible that she really did steal these items from him. But it's more likely that this locker isn't actually hers. Oh! You know what? I bet that is actually Wallace's locker, but the headmaster switched the nameplates or something.
Maybe.
Not the headmaster, but Bully's had, yes. We're about to get that flashback, it looks like.
God, I'm flip-flopping between whether it's Frega or the headmaster at this point.
Continued reading.
Yeah. We'll get there, we'll get there. Remember what Wallace told us before.
Sometimes the other students would steal the ID number
Yep.
off my locker.
Yep.
They'd switch it with the number of another locker. They thought it was funny whenever the student who owned that locker got angry with me.
So, someone switched the nameplates?
That's right, yeah, no, he did mention that. This means that this isn't Miriam Frega's locker. It's Wallace's.
But that would mean that the bloody object came from Wallace's locker.
It appears so. But if that's true, why didn't Steelwind present the bloody item during the trial? I proved that Bellwether was wounded before Valerie healed her. Wouldn't that have been the perfect time to present what she found? It was a bloody item found in the defendant's locker, after all. She could have easily proved that the nameplates were switched, too.
Right. This is weird.
There's something more to this you aren't seeing, but what? I think we'll just have to ask Steelwind ourselves. Before we do. Oh, can I literally not detect magic? Okay.
Present the badge. Present the badge.
Present the badge.
What do you think about this? Alright.
Present the badge.
Oh, you're back.
We uncovered a few things during our investigation. Miss Steelwind, are you acquainted with a student named Miriam Frega?
One fucking job. I said it before, Mr. Cuthbert. I won't fall for such an obvious bluff.
It's not a bluff, Miss Steelwind. And I'll prove it using the evidence we gathered. Oh, I can't... you know what? I still will. Fuck it.
Present the badge.
Alright, anyways.
Damn it. Writers of this game, you had one job.
Oh, I'm sure it'll come into play at some point.
Make every character make fun of you for showing your badge.
Steelwind is paranoid, and for whatever reason, it's due to the involvement of Miriam Frega. If you could convince her to reveal why she's being so secretive, she might give you more information. Oh. Steelwind is extremely logical and won't accept arguments that aren't supported by evidence. However, she has become secretive lately, and her actions seem to stem from paranoia. She's uneasy about case elements that relate to Miriam Frega. She's very inclined to hide Frega's involvement from the court at all costs. You've been behaving strangely, Steelwind. Even the Knights of the Inquisition have noticed. So please, just tell me, why are you being so paranoid?
I'm not sure what you're trying to imply, Mr. Cuthbert. I've approached this case objectively, just like I have with every other case.
You've ordered the Knights to stay away from the crime scene. You've even taken it upon yourself to conduct the investigation yourself. That is not normal behavior for a prosecutor.
I took those actions because the Inquisition is incompetent.
Correct.
How could I possibly trust it with anything?
The Knights are incompetent, but even you can see the value in delegation. During Celeste's case, you'd still delegated tasks to the Inquisition, and you could have easily investigated the McCoy Tavern yourself. This academy is huge. You wouldn't conduct your investigation this way unless you had a good reason.
And why don't you enlighten me? What would cause me to behave so strangely?
You know that the Inquisition is corrupt and will bend to the nobility. So what would happen if a powerful noble were to be publicly involved in this case? With that noble's influence, they'd probably order the Inquisition to conceal their involvement. A high-profile noble is involved in this case, Steelwind. I believe that noble is Miriam Frege.
Again with this, do you think you can bluff me by throwing out the names of random nobles? Not every noble is a malevolent criminal like Garrick Pierce. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Nothing about this case has anything to do with House Frege.
By the way, I do want to just point out, this is just a really nice touch for these present sections, because it clearly shows you the absolute statement that you are trying to contradict. This leaves no fucking ambiguity. This is the best change to the format that I've ever seen in these games.
You know what the argument section is that I just realized? It's logic chess. But, like, good.
Yeah, I was about to say, you need to qualify that because it is not.
It is like, you have this psychological profile given at the start, and you have to weave your way around each of their statements depending on your answer, the evidence given to you, to get out more information rather than just contradict something for the sake of contradicting it to progress the plot.
I see it more as like Magatama and social profiling from Wright and Athena personally.
I mean, all of these are different flavors on the same ice cream.
That's fair. And how do you explain this, Steelwind? The commander told us you were following a lead in the locker room yesterday. We investigated the lockers of the students from the 4 Pillar Academies.
Families,
excuse me. And we found stains of blood in a locker with Miriam Frege's ID number. And it was presumably left by a bloody object. The bloody object was taken by someone. We heard you became extremely paranoid when you found something in the locker room. If I had to guess, I'd say you took the bloody object as evidence.
What evidence do you have to support these outrageous claims?
What?
The only thing you have is evidence of a blood stain. There's a myriad of explanations for that. Everything else you mentioned is pure speculation. I could have found any number of things in that room. Or possibly nothing at all.
Yeah, I think threaten is the thing here.
Yeah.
You found an object in the locker with Miriam Frege's nameplate on it. If you don't present what you found to the court, I'll have no choice but to pull the owner of that locker into the stand.
That's ridiculous. We both know that the locker in question belongs to Wallace Nightgrave.
Can you unequivocally prove that, Miss Steelwind? Because the way I see it, there's a lot of room for doubt there. Enough doubt for me to pull Miss Frege into the witness stand. But if I had more context, maybe I wouldn't have to resort to that.
Well played, Mr. Cuthbert. Suppose I don't have a choice, do I? Just so we're clear, I wasn't acting to protect the nobility. But I'll admit that Miriam Frege was the other witness who saw Bellwether that day.
I see. I had some suspicions, but
There's also another matter.
Steelwind looks uneasy.
When I was investigating the body, I found this.
Evidence of academic dishonesty. Ooh.
A tightly packed folder containing several documents. The documents contain evidence detailing multiple instances of plagiarism, fraud, bribery of school
Okay.
officials, and various other offenses committed by Miriam Frega.
Yeah. Frega's the culprit, and the professor... She tried to frame Wallace, and the professor went and swapped the nameplates so that she would be implicating herself. Yep. What the...
It looks like Miriam's been cheating at school.
But why would Bellwether have something like this?
The way it's arranged, I think it might have been blackmail. Miriam Frege is considered a prodigy in the practice of conjuration magic. She's won a litany of awards, and she will most definitely graduate with honors.
Yeah, but then she wouldn't be able to disguise... Maybe it was both of them. Maybe they're both in on it. I don't know.
If these files were to reach the public, it would absolutely ruin her reputation.
Because we need an illusionist for my theory to work. I don't think a conjuration mage could have done this. At least not alone.
Do you think that the professor was trying to threaten her?
If so, when I discovered this, several elements of the case were still unknown. I decided to look through her belongings, and I mistakenly looked through the locker with her ID. I found this in that locker.
A rapier covered in blood. It was found in Wallace Nightgrave's locker. Apparently it's a valuable family heirloom to House Frege. It was reported stolen by Miriam Frege weeks before the... Oh, no, yeah, no. Okay. Okay, hang on.
Headmaster was looking for something in the locker room.
Yeah. Okay. No, yeah, never mind. It absolutely was the headmaster then, yeah. It was 1,000% the headmaster.
Aristotle means coming back with a vengeance.
So in other words, the headmaster's probably the one that planted the evidence on Bellwether. That's probably what it was. God, this case is fucking twisting. This is really cool. This is...
It's very likely that this is the murder weapon. This rapier is a valuable family heirloom for House Frege. And a few weeks ago, Miriam reported that the rapier was stolen from her room.
Why was the very valuable family heirloom stored in a high school student's dorm room?
It's a good point.
It's the same place.
And then it was found in Wallace's locker.
Not that I'm complaining, but why didn't you present this in court?
To be honest, I'd like to avoid involving House Frege by any means necessary.
I knew it! You're just protecting her, aren't you?
Miss McCoy, do you recall how Wolfgang's justice system works? To acquit a defendant, you need to unequivocally prove that they didn't commit the crime. To do that, they either need a solid alibi,
Or we need to prove that someone else committed the crime.
What do you suppose will happen if you bring Miriam Frege onto the stand? House Frege won't allow one of its members to be indicted in a court of law. They'll plant and forge evidence to implicate your defendant. And they'll use the Inquisition to do so.
So that's why you've been keeping them away from the investigation.
Can't you do anything? The steel ones are powerful too, aren't they?
Yeah.
I don't have the support of my house. Right now, I'm just a prosecutor, nothing more.
Steelwind, you know that this isn't fair for us. Just do nothing. Do nothing and let us win.
Celeste!
If we can't go after Miriam, then you can at least help us save Wallace.
I'm not going to do that.
Why? What if Miriam Frege is the real killer? Her sword is the murder weapon, and Bellwether was trying to blackmail her.
I seem to recall another case where an innocent person's sword was used to frame them.
She's got a point.
That's...
She's got a point.
As a prosecutor, it is not my place to decide who's guilty and who's not. I won't engage in corruption, even if it's to counter corruption from another noble house. I'm sorry.
Do you know where Miriam is right now?
Didn't you hear what I just said? You can't let her think that there's even the... You can't let her think that there's even the slightest possibility you'll indict her. She'll bring the entire wrath of House Frege down on you.
Regardless, I can't do anything for Wallace unless I know everything that happened. Frege has the last piece I need to put everything together.
Well, suppose I don't have much of a choice, do I? Her dormitory's room 107. I imagine she'll be there considering the classes are suspended.
Thank you, Steelwind.
I don't tell you, I'm sure you'll probably just find out using some other means.
Like reading my
But
fucking
please,
mind.
Mr. Cuthbert, be careful.
I get the feeling we can probably get enough evidence from her to, like, avoid her being brought into court. I'm not sure she's the culprit. You follow Miss Steelwind's directions and find Miriam Frege's dorm room. The door leading inside seems a lot more ornately decorated than the other dorms. You go to knock on the door, but you don't realize that it's only partially closed. As your fist comes into contact with the wood, you accidentally push the door wide open.
Oh.
Excuse me?
Wow.
How dare you barge into my room?
Did you think I was kidding? Sorry, I meant to knock, but...
Construct, remove these hoodlums from my room.
Acknowledged.
It's
No,
actually
remember, it's
Bellwether's,
the headmaster.
Oh, right. Acknowledged.
Yeah, there you go. From the corner of the room, an arcane construct stands up and starts making its way toward you. Before you can protest, it raises a fist to hit you.
Oh!
You only have
Battle
enough
mode
time-
engage!
You only have enough time to raise your arms and brace yourself for impact. You close your eyes and wait for the blow. But instead, you hear the clang of steel against steel.
Big Axe mode engage?
Confused, you open
Big
your
ass
eyes and see
mode, yeah.
Celeste standing between you and the construct. Her sword is drawn, and she's using it to block the construct's fist. Upon taking a closer look at Celeste, the student stares curiously at her.
Construct, stand down.
Acknowledged.
I haven't had a chance to talk in ages.
I voiced this character earlier, is the thing.
I know.
I'm terribly sorry for that. I wasn't aware that this was your servant.
You're also
Oh,
Celeste.
that's
so...
an evil look. Also,
Is
hi,
this
I've
just
been
Celeste barely ever talks.
Is this just female James?
No, it's Suisse.
Celeste looks angry, but puts away her sword without a word.
He looks a lot more than angry. Good God.
I haven't noticed you around campus. Are you a new student? What?
You see an opportunity. Yes, my master just enrolled here recently.
What?
Just go with it. After a moment, she seems to realize what you're doing.
Yes, I just started here. I take it you're Miriam Frege? Yes, I'm honored that you recognized me.
You may actually want to pass one of these to Pokemon because it sounds like they're going to be talking a lot more.
Hey, Pokemon, you want the cinnamon roll for now?
The
Of
ultimate.
course I
egg.
do. I prefer cinnamon roll over a schnee.
It's just I really like the snide ass.
Yeah, no, that's
Good.
fair.
I'm taking her back later though, so fuck you.
It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, miss.
I'm Celeste. Celeste
She catches herself and pauses for an awkward moment.
Steelwind. Celeste
Steelwind.
Celeste McSteelwind, it's fine.
McSteelwind.
You can't believe her. There's no way she's going to believe.
Just Steelwind? She must be from the Branch family. Maybe I can use her. It's a pleasure to meet another member of such an esteemed house.
Wait, she's seriously buying this.
Oh my gosh,
Just moved in and I thought I should introduce myself.
I love this game's sense of humor.
Same here.
Seeing as you're a top student in the field of conjugation, yes. I just realized they changed the dialogue box to say Celeste quote unquote
Yeah.
Steelwind.
Yes, that's what we were going on about.
Well, there's no backing out now. You're fucked.
Try to present the badge. Okay.
Oh god, that would be so fun. Hang on, I actually have to do that.
Save before you do that.
Miss Frege, I was wondering if we could ask you some questions about...
Excuse me, I don't believe anyone has permitted you to speak.
Oh, here we go. Celeste is smiling, but you can faintly hear her grinding her teeth together.
Oh, we heard about what happened with Professor Bellwether. I still can't believe it.
Yes, it's quite tragic what happened to her. She has always been an acquaintance of House Frege.
She appears to be more receptive to Celeste. Might be better to let her take the lead on the questioning.
Present.
Wait.
What do you think about this, Miriam?
He's presenting it.
I'm terribly sorry, but I don't have much to say about that.
I'm surprised,
Okay.
honestly. Of all things, that feels like the
Oh,
one
shit.
thing you should
They're
have something
police.
to say about. I'm curious if she has anything to say about this. Nope.
What do you think about this?
No, you
The-
don't have
the
anything to say
rape-
about the evidence against you? Okay.
How about the rapier?
Oh, she actually does have something for that.
I really hope Arya returns my rapier soon.
Aria.
About that.
Oh, Steelwind.
Arya Steelwind.
I'm dumb. It's fine.
It must be pretty important to you.
It is an ancient family heirloom, owned by one of the first heroes of Isengard. My father will throw a fit if he finds out that it was stolen.
Okay, hang on. No, okay, I get it. So the 4 houses are probably the 4 different schools of magic in this world, probably. Each of the heroes was probably given, like, a different school of magic, and that's all their descendants basically focus on one of those 4.
There's probably more schools.
No,
but
but
it's
wait,
like,
then Steelwind and Frege would both be conjure. No, then never mind. Never mind, that doesn't make sense.
I mean, Steelwind's evocation, Frega's conjuration.
Oh, right. No, it is evocation. That's right.
But yeah, I would assume that obviously more different things because we've seen transmutation, evocation, necromancy,
Well-
illusion, and conjuration by now.
I think Steelwind was actually
So that's
evocation, if I
5.
remember correctly.
Yeah, Steelwind is evocation, is what I
Yeah.
was saying.
Yeah.
But we have 4 pillar families and 5 schools of magic so far.
That's fair. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just talking.
And also to bring up, we also do know that some mages
Actually,
can.
what if there was? Oh God, I might be blowing the case wide open for a future thing. What if there was a fifth hero and it was necromancy, and the other four houses erased it from existence?
I also just want to bring up. I love. Something else is that. While they have the arcane like focuses,
Mm-hmm.
but the other people can still learn magic of the different schools, as seen with Pierce having conjuration, despite being a transmutation mage,
That's true. That is true.
and Celeste here having divination via that of detect magic. By the way, divination is also name dropped as a school of
That's
magic
true. That
by
is
now.
true.
We heard that you saw her on the day of the murder. Can you tell us more about what happened?
Oh, you heard about that from your relative, did you? If you don't mind me asking, why are you so interested?
You know, I'm just curious is all. You know how uneventful life can be sometimes. Being unnoble and all.
Alright, tone it down.
Oh?
Oh.
Is that all? I was worried you were going down the same path as that poor, confused Arya.
What does she mean by that?
But I'm in the middle of a study break anyways. I suppose I have some time to sate your curiosity. Construct, please prepare us some tea. Use that lotus tea we imported from the Eastern Kingdoms. She
You
could
mean
be useful
lotus
if I
juice?
win her favor.
Acknowledged.
Lotus tea? You have lotus juice?
You feel like you're slowly losing control of the situation.
I love that.
I heard that you saw the professor on the day of the murder. Where did this happen?
I was in the hallways when I saw her coming out of the headmaster's office. She was heading towards the library.
Do you remember what time this happened?
I am not really sure, honestly. It's a little embarrassing, but I have a bad habit of getting too absorbed in my work. Sometimes I'll let entire hours pass without noticing.
Do you have a rough idea at least?
I think it was in the morning.
She thinks it was in the morning.
But anyways, did anything seem off about her?
No, it was a short encounter. I merely greeted her, and she responded in kind. Or at least, that's what should have happened.
That thought just now. What does it mean? You slowly glance at Celeste and catch her attention. In small motions, you shake your head to indicate Miriam was holding something back.
Were you and the professor really on good terms? Heard she was pretty mean towards the other students.
Towards the riffraff, maybe. But not to students like us. She was a great ally to House Frege. Or at least, she used to be. That's why we were planning on appointing her as the new headmaster.
There we go.
Yep.
Only the headmaster could apply the whole swap the staff with robots thing.
Yep.
Making her the new hunter.
Yep.
Wait, what did you just say? Did you just say your family was going to appoint Bellwether as the new headmaster?
Oh, I'm surprised you didn't know. House Frege holds several seats on the Academy's board. We were making plans to have her replace that lout, Redmond.
Are we gonna sack the headmaster?
Did Headmaster Redmond know about this?
Oh, of course not. This was part of a large-scale plan.
That might have been what he and Bellwether were talking about in his office.
Maybe.
Along with Redmond, we were also going to replace all the staff members with arcane constructs. We had to keep everything under wraps, or else the help would have left prematurely.
Ah, it's a House Frege conspiracy.
And where would that leave us?
But Jan supposedly overheard Bellwether talking about the constructs. Did Bellwether prematurely reveal the plan? Or was Jan lying about how he found out?
It turns out we're all mistaken and it's Jan. That's the culprit.
Oh my god, that would be such an amazing twist that would make no sense.
But alas, with Bellwether gone, we'll have to delay our plans.
Interesting.
So, we heard that Arya took your rapier as evidence for the case.
Can you believe her? She still won't give it back to me. My father will have my head if I can't get it back soon.
Also, I just now realized the
It amuses me.
fact that frickin' the Weiss Schnee is a conjuration mage.
Ah, very good, very good.
How did it even become a part of the investigation anyways?
I don't know. Arya won't tell me anything. I swear, if that necromancer was the one who stole it, I'll execute him myself.
So someone did steal it from you.
Yes, from right out of my room.
When did this happen?
About a few weeks ago. I noticed when I came back from one of my classes. Someone removed the rapier from its display case in my room.
How did they get into your room in the first place?
Do you think someone used magic to teleport past the door?
Please, I'm a master of conjuration magic. If someone attempted that, my enchants would have shunted them out.
This means the thief came through one of the doors or windows.
I bet it was that necromancer. I'm sure a street child like him just knows how to pick a lock.
Hmm.
Painful.
I love being someone just smiling sweetly, but boiling beneath the skin is the untold rage and heat of 1,000 suns.
I've heard that you're one of the Academy's top students. Your grades must be amazing.
Of course. As an inheritor of House Frege, my grades are impeccable. It's good to have my greatness recognized.
That's strange. You don't see anything contradictory through the eye this time. She didn't know, yeah. You make a gesture towards Celeste to continue pressing her.
Oh, what kind of magic do you study here?
You must be joking. I study magic from the School of Conjuration. Just like most members of my house.
Okay, yeah. Each of the houses does have a focus of magic. Yeah.
The School of Conjuration.
You know what? I think I have pieced something together. Bellwether was going to do the whole thing with the headmaster / construct plan. The headmaster brought the blackmail to light.
Yeah.
Laid it out in front of Bellwether to be like, yeah, that ain't happening, bitch. She leaves with with it and gets killed. Who know whether it's by him, by whoever the hell knows.
Still leaning towards him, but we'll see.
Same. That's the type of magic that specializes in spatial manipulation and teleportation, right?
Yes, I consider myself quite the expert in that field.
She better have a breakdown of her crying once the blackmail comes to light.
Why, the Crown Prince himself asked for my assistance in a research study. It's nice to work with someone of my caliber.
I don't see any thoughts that contradict what she's saying. Does that mean she's not lying? If she's smart enough to get the Crown Prince's attention, why would she be cheating?
You said something about my wayward relative before. Are you talking about Arya?
Oh, I'm terribly sorry if I offended you, but I'm sure it must pain you to see the way that she's been acting lately.
Yes, it's been extremely hard.
Hang in there, Celeste.
Did you know that she even interrogated me about the murder yesterday? Can you believe it? A Steelwind running around a crime scene like a common knight. Why, if I tried something like that, my father would disown me.
Does the nobility not approve of Steelwind becoming a prosecutor? You always thought that is strange. What is motivating her to do this?
Honestly, she probably thinks she can do anything just because of her betrothed. Aster deserves better.
Celeste's eyes perk up upon hearing this. You'd be lying if you weren't also curious about who this Aster is. But you shoot a stern look that tells her to stay focused. You can't risk blowing your cover from some gossip.
I just want to point out something that I just now realized about this game compared to Ace Attorney.
Mm-hmm.
Ace Attorney, it's like the crime happens day one or day zero. Investigation happens day one. Then the very next day is day one trial. After trial is day two investigation, but still in the same day. Then day two trial is the next morning. In this game, it seems like it's the reverse, where the investigation happens throughout the day, and then the trial is later in the day.
I would need to look at that, but I could have sworn that most of the time the trial actually is early in the day, and then you investigate after the trial later in the day.
Like here, she mentioned the crime was yesterday, but then Steelwind said that we presented evidence in court yesterday. So I assume in this one, the court case was yesterday to us at this moment.
That is kind of interesting, yeah. That also doesn't really line up because we immediately went to go see Eris. Did Eris just delete a fucking day?
God damn it, Eris.
I would not be surprised.
I didn't catch that, but if that's true, that's very interesting because that doesn't really line up with the continuity that we've had so far. Anyways.
You have an arcane construct in your own room. I thought they only had them in the library and the locker room.
This construct was a gift from the House von Sanctus. I have to say, they're quite convenient to have around.
They look really cool. Maybe I should get one.
You should. A construct would be far more useful than this attendant of yours.
When
I'm
the
going
time is
to
right,
snap your
I am
neck,
prepared to
icicle.
murder Milady Freyga.
Unfortunately, there are still some issues with their intelligence.
their intelligence?
There are issues when you give them complex commands. It might be easier to show you.
Miriam turns to the construct and begins gesturing towards it.
Construct, please retrieve my textbooks and bring them here. Then, cast Steelwind Strike at this location. After that, retrieve some plates and set them on this table.
Acknowledged.
The construct stands up and retrieves Miriam's textbooks from the shelves in the room, then brings them to the table you're sitting at, just like she ordered. But then, it suddenly stops moving.
Wait, what happened?
The construct obviously can't cast Steelwind Strike, so my second command was impossible to carry out. But did you notice something else?
It ignored your third command too.
Correct. My third command was possible to carry out.
So why did it ignore that command?
Constructs execute a series of commands in the order that they are given.
I
Well,
want to make a programming joke.
Oh my God.
I'm trying to think what it is.
The construct just crashes to desktop.
You know what?
It's not crash to desktop. It's like a file not found.
Yeah,
You know
that's probably
what?
fair.
A joke I can say about it: programming.
Good job.
That's it.
Programming, the hidden school of magic.
Anyways.
But let's say one of those tasks is impossible to complete. When the construct gets to that task, it will deem the entire series impossible to complete. As a result, it will stop executing the series altogether.
So if a task in a series of commands is impossible, that command will interrupt the sequence of commands.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Wait. So does it just end the command?
Yes.
Or is it stuck in a
It ends the entire chain.
Yeah.
Yeah, so say it's like an easy, hard, easy thing, the commands. It can do the easy one, and then once it gets to the hard one, it just stops altogether.
It's not hard.
Everything
it's
is canceled
impossible.
out. Everything is canceled out. It basically like it got advice that the best way to do this is by pressing Alt F4 in the Twitch chat.
I love how you say that. Oh my gosh.
Lady Steelwind, I'm afraid we must leave now if we want to make our next engagement.
Oh, right. Let's go, servant.
Oh, leaving already? It was a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, sure. Hope to see you around. We are definitely putting her on the stand, and I'm getting several hitmen sent at me, aren't I?
No, you are fucking not.
You make your way back to the fire with Celeste. With all the time you've spent, you only have a brief amount of time before night falls.
Yeah, before night falls.
Yeah, so...
Wait, what?
Yeah. This is after the trial.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
And what was before? The day before? We obviously haven't had Celeste for just a day.
Maybe she's talking about evidence we presented, like, during the previous day's investigation or something? I don't know. Like, maybe it wasn't necessarily a trial. I don't know.
You sure you didn't want to talk to her more? We're getting a lot out of her.
We already got a lot of useful information out of her. The more time we spend with her, the more likely she is to see through the ruse.
Right.
So, why Steelwind?
I don't know, I panicked! Arya's like the only noble I know.
What about Pierce?
I am not using that creep's name.
Well, hopefully Steelwind doesn't mind us borrowing her name.
And we got her statement on what she saw that day. And Pokemon has a theory regarding
the identity of Celeste's uh, adoptive parents, but let's not get into that yet.
You already went into that last time!
I know. I'm
I
gonna
swear
shut
to
up.
God.
And
I
there's,
swear to God, this is gonna end with Arya screaming.
there's also what she said about a rapier.
But she was lying when she said it was stolen. She's probably trying to establish an alibi.
I'm not so sure.
Why do you say that?
Doesn't it feel too
Honestly, I should give this back to
obvious?
Mitty.
If she was lying about the rapier being stolen, that would imply that she planned all of this in advance. But if she had to choose a murder weapon, why would she choose something that literally has her name on it? I'd understand if the murder was spur-of-the-moment decision. She might have just used something nearby in this case. But if this was premeditated murder committed by Miriam, that rapier would be the last weapon she would use.
Right. I guess that makes sense.
Oh my god! Nobody, the nameplates were already switched. Oh my god, that's totally it. The professor didn't switch the nameplates were already switched. He tried to fucking frame, Freya, so he put it in what he thought was Freya's locker, but it was fucking Wallace's. Oh my god, there we go. Jesus. That's been bugging me. I've been trying to figure out what the fuck that was.
Mm-hmm.
That's, there we go. Okay, right. Okay, got it. I got it. It's all good. Don't worry, guys. I'm just a little slow on the uptake on that one. Alright, there's also the evidence of academic dishonesty. It doesn't match up with what we heard from Miriam.
You mean all that stuff about working with the Crowned Prince? She was probably just making things up to look good in front of me.
I have an insight when it comes to things like this. Under normal circumstances, I can usually tell when someone is lying. And a lie as grandiose as that would be something I would definitely see through. People can subconsciously shield themselves from Eye of Horus even if they don't know about it. But when they do that, you usually can't see any thoughts from them. You also saw that she was lying about her encounter with Bellwether. You would have seen dissonant thoughts if she was lying about her grades.
Well, I guess I'll trust your insight. But what does this mean?
I don't know. Even with everything we've found, I'm still not sure who the real culprit is. At the very least, I think we should still try and pull Miriam onto the stand. I don't think we need to, but okay.
You had one job.
If she testifies in court, I might be able to find something I can use. But that's a big maybe. If you don't play your cards right, you might spook the Fregas enough for them to pay off the judge.
Either way, it's getting late. We'll probably have to turn in soon.
Yeah. You just hope you did enough to acquit Wallace. I love how much fucking power he puts into that every single time.
know, right?
It's his favorite job!
I mean, to be fair, if I were a judge, same. Look, you have the gavel. You have to use it. You're the judge.
You know what they say. Ooga booga hammer is ooga booga best.
Unga bunga.
Court is now resumed for the trial of Wallace Nightgrave. Let us review the proceedings from yesterday. It was revealed that the trace of necromancy may not have been left by the defendant. It may have been left by a witness who used necromancy to attempt to heal the victim. However, the victim was seen by witnesses well after her time of death. This could only be explained by the defendant using necromancy to animate the victim's body. This leaves the question, where did the murder take place? Does the prosecution have an answer for this?
Based on the testimonies of several witnesses, it is very likely that the murder took place in the library.
I'm sorry, what? Excuse me? No? What? Huh?
Interesting. What led you to this conclusion, Miss Steelwind?
First, I'd like to remind the court where the victim was sighted before the body was found. It began when the victim had a meeting with the headmaster at the center of the building.
Pokemon, do you still want him?
Sorry, checking something. Our meeting was scheduled for 12 p.m. According to my schedule for the day, our meeting lasted for an hour.
This brings us to the statement. This brings us to the statement of the next witness, a student at the academy. This student saw the victim walking in the hallways.
I saw her coming out of the headmaster's office. She was heading toward the library. Library.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that our first witness saw Bellwether leave the headmaster's office. Presumably, this would have happened after her meeting there. That would time this encounter at around 1 p.m. The other event is the discovery of the body, which was when Valentina Janus come back to security. I suddenly spotted the professor lying in a pool of blood in the classroom. Valentina used a communication device to call for help while I tried to save her. As we've already established, this event occurred at 3 or 4 p.m. But the significance of this time is in what occurred before the body was discovered. The second witness, a member of the cleaning staff, spotted the victim in the West Wing hallway.
Bellwether knocked over a vase. There are shards and dirt everywhere. It was probably 20 to 30 minutes before the twins found the body.
This means that the encounter must have happened no later than 2:30 p.m. And this implies that the victim was near the library between 1 p.m. and 2:30 p.m. According to the defendant's statements, he was in the library during this time period. Furthermore, the time of death was at 2:07 p.m. This means that Mr. Hughes saw the victim's animated body.
I see. Deduction certainly tracks, Miss Steelwind. What do you have to say in your defense, Mr. Cuthbert?
The prosecution's argument is definitely well thought out, Your Honor. However, it is entirely predicated on the testimonies of all the witnesses involved. Steelwind's deduction has to have a hole somewhere. And since your conversation yesterday, you've had a feeling that Miriam is hiding something. If you want to get to the truth, you'll need to drag out you'll need to drag that out of her through a cross-examination. Your Honor, to test the validity of these claims, the defense would like both of these witnesses to testify. The defense calls Miriam Frege to the stand.
Straight for the jugular.
Hold on just a minute!
Frege?
At the mention of her name, the judge's face turns a bit pale.
I had a feeling it would come to this.
Do you have any objections, Miss Steelwind?
I do not, Your Honor.
I just
Very
have
well.
some choice words for the defense.
Bailiff, please escort Lady Frege to the stand.
She does not look happy.
Of course I don't!
Please state your name and occupation for the...
You little snakes! How dare you deceive me!
Pokemon, have fun.
Oh, it looks like she found out.
What do you mean it looks like she found out? She was gonna find out!
I had the opportunity to brief the witness beforehand. Ms. McCoy, for the record, I told you to exercise discretion. I did not mean that you should impersonate a member of my family.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I gave you all of the tea I imported from the Eastern Kingdoms.
Well, whose fault is that, really?
I demand that you return it to me.
No, you gave them to me. They're legally mine now.
Oh
So
my
ass.
gosh.
So
They were given
ass.
to you under false pretense.
This is criminal court? Take this up in small claims court, please.
I'm not sure what your business with the witness is, Miss McCoy, but I'd ask that you please handle your personal disputes
Don't make
outside the courtroom.
Anyways, Miriam, could you please testify to the court about your encounter with the victim?
I was working on a research project in my dorm room when I decided to take a break. I left my room and went on a walk. That's when I saw Professor Bellwether exiting the headmaster's office. She was walking in my direction, so I greeted her and she responded in kind. After that, she headed toward the library. A short time after that, I went back to my room and continued to work.
I see. So it was only a brief encounter.
However brief it was, the witness's testimony verifies two things. One is that Miss Frege saw the professor exiting the headmaster's office. The other is that he witnessed the victim head toward the library. This gives us a rough timeline of where the victim was before her death.
That does seem consistent.
Bellwether really entered the library that day. You feel like you would have seen her if she did.
Mr. Cuthbert, you may begin your cross-examination.
Did anything seem off about her?
No, but it was a very short encounter. It's not as if we stopped to have a conversation.
You said that you greeted her and she responded. What words did she use?
Why is that important?
Miss Frege, it's possible that someone used illusion magic that day. Every detail about the victim's interactions could be important.
Well, I did bid her a good morning, and she said good morning in response.
Do we have a map of the school?
We do actually, yeah. It is this one. So yeah, headmasters to the library. Hang on, if she saw her, like, here, then she might not have actually seen her go into the library. She might have just seen her as she was continuing. Theoretically.
It's just a theory.
Wait, no.
Towards the
Go
library.
back to that real quick. Go back to that real quick.
Yeah.
Because to bring up something else, if you recall, I believe at one of the corners, Jan had said that she was still heading down the hall, and it was, and that the only thing down that direction was the lecture halls.
Yeah, because he was around here, like somewhere in this area.
I don't see your cursor.
Oh, well that's a shame. I'm talking like top left area. Like literally I think he was in that lecture hall area.
Yeah. And at the very least, the...
Like I think he
wanna
was
say
in
that-
between C and D, if I remember correctly, because he literally said like she either went into lecture hall B or she went to the storage closet because that was the only other thing in that direction.
Yeah, gotcha.
Give me the summary, Steelwind summary again.
Nope.
This one. There's two possibilities that we need to bring out of this testimony. It's either she's wrong about the time, or what she saw wasn't Bellwether. Or she just is wrong. Yeah. Did you see her enter the library?
I didn't, but there's not much else in that direction.
From the testimony of Jan Hughes, we know that she later came from the library. Even if she didn't enter the library, she was still in that area for more than an hour.
How long did you leave your dorm room?
Only for a few minutes. I try not to let my breaks go for too long.
And you didn't see the professor again after your first encounter?
No, I did not.
Her testimony seems pretty straightforward. She could still be lying.
I'm honestly not sure. We'll have to focus on her statements about how Bellwether acted. And you're sure that you saw her exit the headmaster's office?
Yes, I remember it clearly. I was surprised that she was still meeting with the headmaster at all.
She must be talking about how they were plotting to replace him.
Did you interact with the professor at all, Miriam?
I bid her good morning and she responded in kind. I feel like that's probably what we need to do. Is it literally just that it wasn't morning? Is that literally the only thing?
Actually, yes.
Maybe? Seems a little pedantic, but I guess we can try it. Okay. Seems a little pedantic,
fucking way.
but sure. Miss Frege, if I recall correctly, you have a habit of getting absorbed in your work. So much so that you'll even lose track of the time of day.
Yes, but what does that have to do with your testimony?
Earlier in today's proceedings, the prosecutor made the following argument. Miss Frege, if you had said good morning to the professor, you would have been mistaken. Because that encounter could only have happened during the afternoon.
And your point is...
I'm with Steelwind on this one.
Yeah, I was Steelwind as well. Holy shit.
You said yourself, Ms. Cuthbert, the witness simply lost track of time.
What the witness said isn't the important thing here. The significance is in what the professor said in response. She had just come out of a meeting that was scheduled for noon. She would be well aware that it was no longer morning. So why would she respond good morning? Wouldn't she have corrected the witness?
Their encounter was extremely short, and the victim's mind may have been preoccupied. She could have easily responded to the witnesses without thinking.
Everyone is like, I don't know, Tyrion, that's little.
I'm going to be honest, I kind of agree with her. It's not hard to believe that they were both confused about the time.
It's definitely a stretch. But you still can't shake the feeling that she's hiding something. Every time you ask about how Bellwether acted that day, the eye picks something up. There has to be something there. Miss Frege, you haven't been entirely truthful in your testimony, have you?
That's absurd! What reason would I have to lie? It's such a small detail, why does he even care?
Every detail about how she acted is important, Miss Frege. What aren't you telling us?
Mr. Cuthbert, you have no basis to accuse the witness of perjury.
Yes, we'll stop this at once.
Miss Frege, you're lying about how Miss Bellwether responded to your greeting, aren't you?
It doesn't make a difference. All she did was yell at me.
Mm-hmm. She said be quiet, didn't she? All she did was yell. Miss Frege, is it possible that Bellwether's response was less than friendly?
Well, what do you care? What difference does it make?
My job is to make sure every part of your testimony is truthful. Every detail matters, no matter how seemingly insignificant.
Mr. Cuthbert, you will stop this, or I will find you in contempt.
Even the judge is like, please don't do this. The professor yelled at you, didn't she, Miss Frege?
So what if she did? I mean...
I'm sorry, but there's no going back on what you just said. So you do admit that she yelled at you?
Are you in? Yes, I admit it. The professor didn't greet me back at the day. Oh, good morning, Professor.
Yup.
Be quiet.
She yelled at me to be quiet.
Mm-hmm. She did, didn't she?
But until then, we had always been nothing but courteous to each other. I don't know what got into her that day, but something put her in a foul mood.
So, we've also established Miriam did not know what time it was. She literally said good morning. She did not know what time she came out of her room.
But that's it. Everything else I said was the truth. Don't believe me, right? That part is true. I did see her come out of the headmaster's office and walk toward the library.
So she wasn't lying about that.
So is that all, Mr. Cuthbert?
What do you mean, is that all?
You badgered this witness. Also, you could prove... what, exactly?
The witness committed perjury.
The witness changed a small detail of her testimony. A detail that is inconsequential to the case.
Excuse me, but, bullshit, Your Honor?
It was clearly an act with no malicious intent.
After seeing her
It
thoughts,
doesn't
it's hard to
matter, it's
disagree with
illegal.
that. I don't think Miriam has anything to do with this. Miriam is like a bystander in all of this.
I know, but
yeah.
perjury is still illegal.
Yeah, but she's a noble. Like, we're not gonna try and go down that fucking road.
I mean, that just means she deserves it even more.
It's fine. She didn't do anything
I
really
see
wrong.
where this is going.
You were sure the eye would lead you somewhere, but Frege was only lying to save face.
The witness saw the victim leave the headmaster's office and head toward the library. Do you have any concrete evidence to refute that, Mr. Cuthbert?
No, I suppose I don't.
Except you do a bit on time.
Wait, is this really okay? At this rate, this will be the only chance you have to cross-examine her.
I don't think she's lying anymore. And I was really pushing my luck earlier. If I continue pressing her, the judge might actually charge me with contempt. If Miriam isn't the one that's lying, then... The defense has no further questions for the witness, Miss Steelwind. The prosecutor stays silent for a while. She looks almost disappointed.
Very well. Miriam, you are dismissed.
Miriam still looks like she's fuming, but she leaves the room without protest. The judge breathes a sigh of relief as the young noble is escorted out of the room.
Now, with that out of the way, what else do you have, Mr. Cuthbert?
The only way to refute the prosecutor's theory is to cast doubt on one of the witnesses. If it wasn't Miriam, then... Steelwind, to test your theory, we must question every witness that saw the victim that day. So with that said, the defense would like to call Jan Hughes to the stand.
I hope you understand, Mr. Cuthbert. Your entire case rests on the assumption that one of the witness accounts is incorrect. If your cross-examination of Mr. Hughes leads nowhere, then I hope you're ready to concede.
You don't like the sound of it, but she's right. Unless you can find something in Jan's testimony, you won't really have anything to disprove her theory. Then why are we even bothering with Hughes?
Beta,
We
please
literally
Mr.
need
Hughes.
to... Oh my god. Like, I'm like 5 steps ahead of this case at this point. I'm like, put the fucking headmaster on the stand, please, for the love of God.
Witness, please state your name and occupation for the courtroom. Witness, name and occupation.
Oh, all right. My name is Jan Hughes. I'm on the cleaning staff of the academy.
Mr. Hughes, please testify to the court about your encounter with the professor that day.
Sure. I saw the professor when I was cleaning the West Wing hallways. It was about 20 to 30 minutes before the body was discovered. She walked by me, but she looked pretty out of it. I heard she was undead when this happened. Pretty creepy if you ask me. After that, she went to the empty classroom.
Well, that was straightforward.
On, Jan. Come on, Jan. What are you supposed to do with that?
I don't know. You guys are the lawyers. I'm just telling you what I saw. Mr. Cuthbert, may begin your cross-examination.
It won't be a long one, I assure you. I just need to check one thing in our court record. Anime corpse. Cannot speak.
Oh.
Cannot speak. Corpse cannot speak.
Oh, hey, an old man. Hello, what do you want?
I believe you've forgotten a few details about what the professor did.
Yeah? Sorry, it's hard to remember these things sometimes.
Which details should you ask him for? What she said. Yeah. Did you hear her make any sounds?
Oh, yeah. After she knocked over the vase, she yelled at me to be quiet. But I didn't even say anything.
This detail could be extremely important. Please add it to your testimony, Mr. Hughes.
Whatever you say, man.
There we go. There we go. Mr. Hughes, you said that Bellwether yelled at you. What were her exact words?
I think she yelled at me to be quiet.
There it is.
What?
I thought it was weird. I didn't even say anything. But I know better than to talk back to her.
That's the thing, Hughes. The prosecution's theory is as such. The professor was murdered in the library and was reanimated using animate corpse. With a quick illusion spell, no one would notice that she was undead. However, if what you saw was truly the undead Bellwether, how did she speak to you?
Huh?
Doesn't make any sense.
That feeling when you're like 5 steps ahead of the fucking game. Mr. Hughes, undead can follow simple orders, but they don't have the intelligence to speak.
Perhaps the witness was mistaken.
No, I'm sure I heard her yell at me. I remembered because what she said didn't make any sense.
Exactly. He didn't say anything, but she still yelled at him to be quiet? Wait a minute. There it is.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
Tyrion finally had the light bulb moment.
We've already established that the victim was dead long before the encounter with Mr. Hughes. But If what he saw wasn't an undead, what was it?
It had to be an undead. What other explanation is there?
It couldn't have been major illusion. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been able to shove Jan out of the way or knock over the base. Whatever it was, someone probably used illusory disguise to make it look like Bellwether. Does that mean it was a person? No. If it was a person, how did Bellwether's body end up... Ooh. Bellwether wouldn't have been able to turn herself invisible if she was dead. Whatever Jan saw, it needed to be something that could have transported Bellwether's body unseen. It would have also needed to have mass and the ability to speak. Or at the very least, it needs to be something that can recreate Bellwether's voice. What could have done that? There we go! That's it!
Do you have an answer for us, Mr. Cuthbert? What did the witness actually see?
Your Honor, the witness didn't actually hear the dead victim speaking. What he actually heard was her voice being recreated using magic.
Dear God, AI.
Are you trying to say that a voice was recreated using a spell?
Not a spell, Steelwind. It was artificery. And whoever the murderer is, they had the perfect piece of artificery available to them. One programmed with Catherine Bellwether's voice.
You can't possibly mean...
That's right, Steelwind. What Mr. Hughes saw was an arcane construct.
An arcane construct?
Think of it as a magically animated suit of armor, Your Honor.
But we ruled out such a possibility, hadn't we? Construct or not, no one could disguise themselves and carry the body to the classroom.
A person wouldn't be able to do it. But arcane constructs are a different thing entirely. Those suits of armors are extremely large, but more importantly, they're hollow.
We FNAF'd this fucker.
We really did. You made that joke. I thought you were already referencing that. I'm like... That's literally been my suspicion from, like, the start of this case.
I'm flattered that you have so much faith in me, sir, but I must tell you that it is unfortunately misplaced most of the time.
I see. That means that, theoretically, someone could have placed the victim's body inside it.
The arcane construct wouldn't just transport the body. With an illusory disguise, it would also confuse and mislead anyone who saw it.
Objection!
I commend your deduction, Mr. Cuthbert. I never would have considered that possibility. It's certainly plausible, but what does this prove exactly?
It proves that the body wasn't animated using necromancy. My client isn't the murderer.
The defendant is still capable of performing all the acts that you described. His compendium contains illusory disguise, after all.
There were several students at the library that day. Any of them could have committed the murder.
One might come to that conclusion if they didn't have one crucial piece of evidence. I'd like to present a new piece of evidence to the court.
Here we go.
One thing after another.
You didn't share evidence, Miss Steelwind?
From under her table, you see Miss Steelwind pull out the bloody rapier.
Miss Steelwind, have you been hiding that under this desk this whole goddamn time?
Yes, Your Honor. This is the murder weapon.
And it's been thrown out of court.
She was saving that for the perfect moment, wasn't she?
This rapier was reported stolen by Miriam Frege weeks before the murder.
And she couldn't have presented this at the very fucking beginning.
And during the investigation, it was finally found in the defendant's locker.
I mean, like she said, she was trying to avoid Frege at all costs. Now that we've already put Frege on the stand, like, what's the fucking harm? Oh, wait!
There's a lot of harm! He was clearly trying to use one of her possessions in a paltry attempt to frame her. Why, he even stole the locker's nameplate and placed it over his.
Damn it, that's not what happened. But honestly, it sounds more plausible than what really took place.
We're basically back to square one, aren't we? Anyone could have told that construct to do all those things.
Wait, anyone? Is that really true?
False.
The construct transported the professor's body, and someone used an illusion to make it look like her. They even used a pre-recorded voice to make the illusion more convincing. Could anyone have done that?
Oh,
Voice lines can only be changed or adjusted by the Academy headmaster.
no. Command given to a construct is stored in its command log.
And we have a command log, don't we?
However, this command log
I don't think we
cleared
do.
regularly.
Yeah, I don't think we do. This
I
is
checked
this is the one that we should probably check. But yeah, no, we'll get to that later. Because this is the last thing that this construct would have done, is probably put that sword in the locker, but we'll need to check that.
Realistically, that would be the answer if we had a log.
Who ordered the construct? I think we're just fucking presenting the headmaster at this point.
Yeah.
'Cause, like,
Well, no, I think you had to present the clue, which will bring it up, so...
I thought we had something that actually... Like, maybe it is just... Yeah, I think it is just we're presenting the headmaster. Alright. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I think it is just the headmaster. Alright. Several memories flood back to you. Mr. Hughes, you said that Bellwether yelled at you. What were her exact words?
I think she yelled at me to be quiet.
She yelled at me to be quiet. But until then, we had always been nothing but courteous to each other. I don't know what got into her that day, but something put her in a foul mood.
Be quiet. Yep.
Be quiet.
Sorry.
Be quiet!
Eris begins giggling. She seems amused by what's happening.
Have you figured it out?
That's all she's gonna say.
That's an evil look.
Don't like
Holy
that. Don't
Oh.
like that.
Don't like that. Oh, just Monica. Just Monica.
No. It can't be him.
What is it, Tyrion? Did you figure something out?
I did. But is he seriously the one behind all of this? Miss Steelwind, earlier you said that my client could have orchestrated this entire ruse. But that's simply not true.
How so? Anyone could have ordered the construct to carry out the victim's body.
Yes. But not everyone can change what the constructs are able to say. Only one individual has the credentials for that. Theodore Redmond, headmaster of the Imperial Academy.
Wait, you're not serious, are you? You think the headmaster did all this?
I don't want to believe it. But he's the only person who could have done it.
Completely ridiculous. Headmaster Redmond would never do something like this.
Miss Steelwind, there's one common element between each of the witnesses' encounters with Bellwether. It's what Bellwether said to them.
He yelled at both of them to be quiet.
Miriam Frege was particularly surprised. She had a good relationship with the professor. But when greeted by the professor, Bellwether just shouted at her. Almost as if the professor was responding indiscriminately. And recall her encounter with Jan Hughes. The professor knocked over a vase and shouted at him to be quiet immediately after, even though he hadn't said anything.
She was responding to the sound of the vase breaking.
Now let me ask you this, Steelwind. Where did Bellwether come from before she encountered Freya and Hughes? With the headmaster.
It appears that the defense truly means to indict Theodore Redmond. If so, we have no choice but to take a brief recess until he can be brought here.
I love the pacing of these trials, I'm not gonna lie.
Alright, who was this guy again?
Pokemon.
Well, it was Eddie, but
Yeah.
Eddie's internet died.
Oh.
Who is this guy again?
This is the headmaster.
It's the headmaster.
Do you want him for the time being?
I don't remember whose voice I don't remember.
He's an older guy.
He's just an older dude, yeah.
There's no need. Fortunately for you, I'm already in the gallery.
You want to speak up a bit?
Yeah.
I'm trying to, but it's also like 12.
The headmaster stood up from the gallery seats behind you and slowly walked into the witness stand. Has he been here the entire time?
Now, please correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Cuthbert. Do you think I am the one who committed this crime?
I'm sorry, Redmond, but no matter how I look at it, everything I found points to you.
No, there's no need to apologize. In fact, I should commend you on the lengths that you're going to defend dear Wallace.
The court appreciates the understanding, Mr. Redmond.
Now then, to clear the air, I suppose I should give my testimony on what happened that day.
He really doesn't like the nobles. He really doesn't like the nobles.
No shit, Sherlock. That day, I had a meeting scheduled with the professor at noon. She showed up at the expected time, and we discussed various administrative matters. Our meeting went on for an hour, after which she left to prepare for her next class. Despite our many disagreements, we still knew how to be civil with one another. After all, I have no reason to bear a personal grudge against her.
Alright, well that's just an outright fucking lie.
I just can't see it. He seems like such a nice person. Is he really the person we're looking for?
He has to be. No one else could have orchestrated this entire plot. You just need to figure out how and why. Well, we're about to get into the fucking why.
Further down.
Which one is it?
A good bit further down.
Testimony.
There we go, yep. Yep. There we go. Redmond, do you really hold no animosity towards Professor Bellwether?
Of course not. I did have strong opinions about her methods of teaching, but I always remained professional. We both did.
Frankly, I find that hard to believe. In fact, I think you might have had a very good reason to murder the professor, considering that she was going to take your job.
What?
So you knew about that?
I'm sorry, but I don't follow. Just how was the professor going to take the headmaster's job?
According to Miriam Frege, Catherine Bellwether was currying favor with the noble families. In fact, there was a plan to oust Mr. Redmond and appoint Miss Bellwether as the new headmaster of the academy.
What? But in any case, I doubt the headmaster had any idea of this till now.
I'd like to remind the court of the witness's reaction just now. He said, "So you knew about that." His reaction was one of surprise. But he wasn't surprised by this information. He was surprised that I knew this information.
That's...
Please, dear Arya. I may be a frail old man, but I'm perfectly capable of defending myself.
When the dude with his
Oh, and-
eyes closed and all other portraits opens them for the first time.
Rico
It's
and
like
Von
Brock.
Karma here.
It's Brock.
You do not want me to slowly become German.
If you have an explanation, Mr. Redmond, then by all means, I'd love to hear it.
Gladly.
He's not closing them.
Not
no.
anymore.
It is true that I knew about Frega's plot beforehand, but I had only just learned about it. On the day of the murder, the professor told me about her plan. She was going to replace me as headmaster and replace all the staff with her arcane constructs. Now, you might say that this would have given me the perfect motive to murder the professor.
I would.
However, the supposed murder weapon was stolen from Miss Frega. This happened weeks before the murder and my discovery of the professor's treachery. I had no knowledge of their plan before she told me, and therefore I wouldn't have known to steal Miss Frega's weapon in an attempt to frame her.
A fair argument, I suppose.
Are you satisfied now, Mr. Cuthbert? There is no way that the headmaster could come up with this plan.
If he really did do this, that means he stole the Revia too, right?
Most likely.
His alibi makes sense. He couldn't have planned this whole thing unless he knew about Belvedere's plans. That would mean he knew about this weeks ago. But how did he even find out?
The best way to tell a convincing lie is to leave a lot of truths and only change one detail. Maybe Bellwether did tell him, but she actually told him weeks ago. The question is, how do you prove that?
Mr. Cuthbert, you may begin your cross-examination.
Alright, time to scan the evidence. Ah. Interesting.
Objection!
Oh, no. Okay. Little ahead of the plot there. Little ahead of the game. Alright. Well, yeah, no, this being weeks ago is important.
Are we sure about that?
Yes. Like, it being the headmaster that performed this weeks ago is definitely suspect. Like, that is going
It's
to come into
something,
play.
we just don't have the context yet.
Correct.
What was the headmaster's testimony? Okay.
Yeah, it's the lockdown system. That's fine. That's fine. Stealing orders, that's not it. No. Oh, literally this. Hello. According to Jan, Bellwether revealed this plan to the headmaster during a meeting a few weeks ago. I'm dumb. I just didn't read the whole fucking thing here.
Objection!
What do you mean? What do you mean, no?
Wrong point.
I guess. Whatever. I'd only just learned about it. I had no knowledge of their plan. There we go. Okay, whatever. Fucking...
Objection!
What do you...
You missed.
What?
You physically missed.
What, did I literally just hit the wrong fucking
Yes,
thing?
you did.
Oh.
Oh, that's funny as shit.
That's very funny. Alright, let's try that again.
Wait. You put it on the wrong one again.
Did
Yeah,
I?
I think that was right.
Yes, you did. You put it on the wrong one. You were on 4 instead of 5.
No, I'm still on 5.
No, it's on 5 now. It was on 4 last time, is what I'm saying, Curb.
It's still on 5.
What?
Okay.
So
No, that-
we
but that
will
would be
try it
8.
on 4 now. No, that doesn't contradict this, though.
No, go back.
Yeah, it just learned.
No, keep going.
Keep going.
Keep going.
There.
On,
Wait,
on
no,
the
no,
day
no.
of the
Second,
murder.
on the second, on the day of the
Second,
murder.
second. Present.
Okay, we can try that. There we go. Okay. Yep.
There we
Yep. Redmond, you keep saying that you didn't know about Bellwether's plot before yesterday. I feel like we could have presented this to literally any statement in this except for
Yeah,
the
no.
fourth one, and it still would have been, I guess, the third or the fourth. Like,
No, I think for all of them it would have worked.
I don't know, man. This is weird. The fact that it's this specific one is a little off. This is the one time in this game where I've been like, okay, whatever. You keep saying that you didn't know about Bellwether's plot before yesterday. You still planned on standing behind that claim.
Of course I am, because it's the truth.
I'm sorry, Redmond, but you really should close your doors during your meetings.
What?
It is true that Bellwether revealed her plan to you during one of your meetings. In fact, Jan Hughes happened to overhear that same meeting, but he only overheard the part where the staff would be replaced. And that's the strangest part, Redmond. According to Mr. Hughes, this meeting occurred weeks ago.
You can't accuse the headmaster of perjury based on a rumor. Everything you just said is based on secondhand information.
Mr. Hughes distinctly overheard that the staff would be replaced with arcane constructs. That is too specific and too accurate to assume that he misheard a different conversation.
The professor probably only revealed her plan for the arcane constructs. That still doesn't prove how he knew about her treachery beforehand.
Professor Bellwether had no authority over the cleaning staff's employment. It wouldn't make sense for her to just reveal her plan for the arcane constructs. That would only make sense if he knew that Bellwether would be taking his job. So tell me one thing, Redmond. Why did you find the need to lie about this? Is it because you saw a need to protect yourself from my accusations? Redmond, I asked you a question. Did you murder Catherine Bellwether? Oh!
What a fine mess this is. I'm not done yet.
Headmaster.
So, you truly plan on pushing this, are you? Well, your thesis sounded promising, Mr. Cuthbert. But I believe your arguments could use a little work.
You're going Eggman on me.
You think I killed Catherine Bellwether? Me? I'm an elderly man in his late 80s. I was alone and had nothing to overpower Bellwether with. I mean, I can barely walk, much less wield a rapier.
But you and Bellwether weren't the only people in that room, were you? You needed the arcane construct to carry Bellwether's body. That means that the construct would have already been in your office. And with your privileges, you could have easily programmed the construct to stab Bellwether for you.
Ugh. Even so, think about what would have transpired afterward. Hello?
I'm
Think
just
about what
thinking
would've-
about things for a second. Did Theodore prevent us from using detect magic in his office?
No.
Interesting.
Recall!
In fact, he
Miss-
even pointed out that it was clean of magic.
That's very interesting, yeah.
Recall Miss Steelwind's timeline of Bellwether's witnesses. With your theory, the construct would have spent more than an hour in the library. Having it there would have risked my so-called ruse from being discovered. Luckily, Lady Frege can't tell night from day.
Woof.
I wouldn't have the construct linger around the library.
We thoughts with claims that contradict a piece of evidence. Thoughts, I think. Yeah. The timing deduced by Miss Freya's testimony is predicated on one thing. She saw Miss Bellwether exit your office after your meeting. However, if we assume that you're lying about when this meeting ended, your entire argument falls apart. Miss Freya would have encountered Bellwether after her death at 2:01 p.m.
Miss Frege wouldn't have made a mistake like that.
Miss Frege thought it was morning when she saw Bellwether. She can't reliably tell the time.
Then what about where the rapier was placed? If I was really the murderer, then that would mean I planted the weapon in young Wallace's locker. Several of the students had lockers there that I had access to. I wouldn't have placed incriminating evidence in that locker. Wallace is one of my prized students. If I had to frame anyone, he would be the last person I chose.
Where's the one about swapping nameplates?
Probably under the rapier.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, no.
You're right, Mr. Redmond. You wouldn't try to frame Wallace, but you would try to frame Miriam Frege. It would have been the perfect act of revenge, wouldn't it? You murder your treacherous co-worker and frame the daughter of the family that helped her. But something went wrong, didn't it, Redmond? The labels on Wallace's locker and Miriam's locker were switched. Anyone who saw that would have easily mixed them up.
I am the headmaster of the Imperial Academy. I have records of all the students' lockers and where they're located. There's no reason I would make a mistake like that. If I truly planned this, I would have known where Wallace's locker was. A simple change in labels wouldn't have led me to make a careless mistake like that.
Except for you're not the one who did it. Wait, what? No? What?
Ugh, we've been shot.
Inactive.
Inactive.
No, the inactive one.
Inactive in the inactive.
The second one.
The robot.
What, this one?
Yes.
Oh, okay. No, sorry, yeah. But it wasn't you, was it? Your arcane construct was the one who planted the rapier in the locker. I bet you commanded it to place this rapier in the locker of Miriam Frege. But it saw the ID number on Wallace's locker and assumed that it was Miriam's.
This is...
Redmond begins desperately stammering, looking for something to say. Something to say.
Steelwind, say something!
What?
That wasn't something!
Mr. Cuthbert, your theory may be plausible, but there's no evidence to support it.
Ha! That's right! You don't have any proof, do you? There's no evidence of my orders. Saying that I could have committed a murder isn't the same as proving I did it.
Well, let's check, shall we? Where is it?
It talks about the arcane construct.
No, where's the thing about
Yeah,
the...
It was literally on the robot. It says that it's recorded.
Oh, yeah, there
it
we
has to be cleared regularly.
What? Or not?
What do you mean it's not that?
Wait, inactive.
Inactive?
Mentioned something about tracking
Not
time.
here. No. Okay, let's actually think about this. What was the command? Stab Miss Bellwether. Put Harry Bellwether to the classroom. Put the rapier in Frega's locker.
Foul classrooms? No, it wouldn't be that.
What would cause an issue with the logic?
I mean, it's either a construct or something related to the constructs, I would think.
Yeah, it definitely feels like it's related to construct. I guess we can choose. Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
Your arcane construct is still in the locker room where it planted the rapier. All we have to do is take a look inside it and we'll see the blood inside.
Is that so, Mr. Cuthbert?
What? Why does he still look so confident?
No, Mr. Cuthbert, I already checked the inside of that construct during my investigation. The interior was completely clean.
What?
The construct's primary function is to assist and clean the Tyrion. They have a function that allows them to clean themselves, inside and out.
Why are you telling us this? Well, we can still look at its command history, right?
Think about it, Mr. Cuthbert. Do you honestly think that the murderer would leave behind evidence like
Yeah, it does say that it can be cleared by the headmaster, right?
Actually,
Yeah, it
well,
must be
wouldn't
cleared
there be a,
regularly.
wouldn't there be a log of it being cleared though?
No.
Why wouldn't there be a log of its cleaning?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, because it would have, the newest thing in the log would be it was ordered to clean.
That's not
So-
how logs work.
That's not how logs work.
Yeah. That is actually a thing in hacking, is that you can clean logs and make it look like you never accessed it in the first place.
I'm sure that whoever orchestrated this plot, they ordered the construct to wipe its logs when it was finished.
No!
That's right, Mr. Cuthbert. Your case against me is theoretical at best. But I suppose I can still give you marks for trying.
Damn it, he thought of everything. Was he seriously able to get rid of all the evidence? Running out of options. You still have one tool left.
Ha! It's becoming unbecoming to glare like that, young Tyrion.
Doing it again.
Bringing yourself back to that moment with Garrick Pierce. Think about what's at stake for Wallace, just like you did with Celeste. His life and future are in your hands.
Naught can remain concealed.
You activated the Empowered Eye again. Redmond did a good job covering its tracks. But there has to be something that he forgot to get rid of.
Astral projection fell.
I wonder, did I leave any other pieces of evidence behind? I was far too reckless. But I needed some way to keep that lecture hall empty.
That's why. Right, he must have botched the alchemy experiment on purpose to keep the lecture hall cleared. That doesn't really tell you anything you can use right now.
I mean, that tells a decent bit.
Why was the construct in the locker room, though? It shouldn't have been there if it had followed my orders. No matter. It wiped its logs.
It didn't, because that's the last command he gave it. That's the last command he gave it.
They have nothing on me.
It still has the logs because it didn't clear the logs because that's his last command in the string. Oh, that's so good. I like that. I like that a lot. So he did order it to wipe its logs.
That actually requires some knowledge of programming to figure out. Yes.
That's very smart. I mean, they literally taught us how that works in this case. That's really cool. In order to cover all of its tracks, it probably would have done this last. I mean, can I just... The construct sorters... Nope.
That was me. The construct's orders were clear. Plant the body in Lecture Hall 2B, and then plant the evidence in Frega's locker. It was supposed to head to the storage room afterward. What happened?
Interesting. The construct wasn't supposed to be in the locker room? Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was going to be in the storage room. Wait, you ordered the construct to go to the storage room. It would have done that after it was finished planting the evidence in the locker room. But we found it in the locker room.
Oh!
Yeah, what?
I figured it out.
Obviously, it couldn't get to the locker, or it couldn't get to the storage room. I can't remember why.
It couldn't. No, it couldn't get to any room.
Because it wiped its...
No. Because of
Because the lockdown.
The lockdown.
You know, I was waiting for you guys to
Good.
come to that conclusion.
Oh, that's good.
I figured that out like a few minutes ago, and I was just sitting
That's
with my
very
hands
good.
folded.
That's very good. Lockdown system. So good. Oh, that's, yeah. No, that would have taken me a second. It would have taken me I knew that it was like, obviously it couldn't have gotten to the storage room. Oh, that's good. Right. The body was probably reported earlier than Redmond expected. This means he probably started the lockdown before the construct was finished in the locker room. But does this change anything? Redmond's series of commands was interrupted by the lockdown. Wait a minute! Do you want to go through it?
Flashback.
Oh, we're going through it.
If you want to.
Constructs execute a series of commands in the order that they are given. But let's say one of those tasks is impossible to complete. When the construct gets to that task, it will deem the entire series impossible to complete. As a result, it will stop executing the series altogether.
Together.
So, if a task in a series of commands is impossible, then that command will interrupt the entire series.
The construct's final command was to wipe its memory. But if its orders were interrupted by the lockdown, then... Miss Steelwind, I have nothing more to ask this witness.
What?
You're not giving up, are you?
Do you even have to ask?
Yeah, I thought so. But how are you going to prove he did if he's not testifying?
Don't worry, the next witness's testimony will be all I need.
Next witness?
That look on your face is one of defeat. Just what are you planning?
It's nothing but desperate bravado. Now, if you'll excuse me.
You've let your quarry get away, Mr. Cuthbert. I hope you know what you're doing.
I do, Miss Steelwind. First, I'd like for the Inquisition to bring the arcane construct in the Academy's locker room.
We've already established that the murder could have wiped its history.
Please, just humor me for a second, Miss Steelwind.
Very well. Bailiff, please relay Mr. Cuthbert's request, Commander White.
Very good.
Well, here's the construct. I hope you know what you're doing, Mr. Cuthbert.
Construct?
What are your orders?
Please recite your command history.
Reporting. Command 1. Stand by in Headmaster's office. Command 2. Await vocal signal
Attack!
from
Theodore
Redmond.
You hear Redmond stand up from the gallery.
Shit!
Seeing this, the prosecutor watches him and carefully clutches the handle of a cane.
Command 3. Treat
Catherine Bellwether
as a hostile entity and neutralize.
Construct, wipe your...
Before he can finish his sentence, the prosecutor points her cane at the headmaster. Magical energy shoots from it and collides directly with him. The magic reads around his body and stops him from moving. He's clearly trying to struggle against it, but it looks like he can't even move his mouth.
The steel wind.
Excuse the interruption. Please continue.
Love her.
Command 4. Await vocal signal.
Leave.
From
Theodore Redmond.
So stupid.
Command 5. Move to classroom 2B. Reply to any inquiries with voice line number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Command 6. Remove
Catherine Bellwether
from interior frame and place on floor.
Thank you, Construct. You can stop now. I think we all know the rest. But just to be clear, who gave you this series of commands?
Commands were provided by Headmaster
Theodore Redmond.
How? How? I ordered the construct to wipe its command history.
Mr. Redmond, constructs don't follow the same logic that humans do. They're prone to error when their commands are impossible to execute.
Impossible? In what way were my commands impossible?
You were the one that made it impossible. You activated the lockdown system.
The lockdown?
The
No.
body was found earlier than you'd like. You had no choice but to immediately activate the lockdown system when it was reported. However, the construct was still in the locker room when you did this.
So that's why it was there.
The construct finished its task in the locker room, but then it tried to follow your next command. It tried to move to the storage room, but it was prevented from doing so. Completion of that command was impossible, so the series of commands was stopped before it wiped its memory.
Why, you little...
Theodore Redmond, you ordered your construct to murder Catherine Bellwether. Then you had it place the murder weapon in a locker to frame Miriam Frege. We have your construct's testimony to prove it.
This is what you deserve for trusting Starline.
And that's checkmate.
I can't believe it. How could you do something like this, Headmaster?
She was going to take everything from me. My position, my academy, my students. Everything would be gone. It was going to be stolen by her and the Fregas.
Why didn't you say anything to me? I could have...
Don't you dare stand there and act ignorant, Lady Steelwind. Do you think the Fregas acted alone? Your father was a part of this plot too.
What?
I have nothing to say to you. I thought you were different. I listened to your lies about societal reform. In the end, you were just like the rest of the aristocracy.
Oof.
By the Scaled Lord, what have I done? I was even willing to sacrifice poor Wallace. I can't believe I... Why did I do this?
Why did I listen to Eris? Oh! Oh!
Why did I do this?
Eris has the mind control shit. Eris has the mind control shit, and she's erasing
It
all
wasn't-
evidence of it.
It wasn't actually Redmond.
Oh, I'm losing my shit. That's gonna be so cool. Oh
It
my
wasn't
god.
actually Redmond.
It
And
was.
I
But-
have to play this bit.
Oh my
Going full
god.
psychotic.
Don't pretend you don't enjoy it.
I do. I had to voice Starline for you.
You chose to voice Starline.
It appears we have a full confession. The court sees no reason to prolong this any further. Bailiff, please escort the witness to a holding cell.
I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my mind. Oh, we don't have Pokemon. Oops.
Mr. Cuthbert, you really did it.
Feels amazing, right? Like a big weight being lifted from your shoulders.
It does, but I can't believe the headmaster was the one who did this.
Right? Despite everything Redmond did, he was the one that allowed Wallace to pursue his dreams.
I'm sorry,
I'm sorry. I'm sure this is bittersweet for you.
What am I going to do now? Headmaster Redmond was the only reason I could even attend the academy. With him gone.
Come on, don't think like that. You got acquitted. I'm sure it'll all work out.
You want to agree, but necromancy is basically taboo. Without Redmond's support, there aren't many places he could learn it legitimately. And then there's the Imperial Academy.
Hey, don't you get all sad on me too.
Sorry, I was just thinking. With Redmond gone, the Fregas will probably just appoint another sycophant as the headmaster. Valentina, Valerie, and Jan, they're all gonna lose their jobs.
Come on, you found the truth and you put a murderer behind bars. You saved Wallace.
She's right.
As you start to exit the courtroom, you're greeted by Miss Tamora. Was she in the gallery this entire time?
At the end of the day, you saved Wallace from a wrongful conviction. You should be proud of yourself for that.
I suppose you're right. Maybe I am just overthinking things. But the doubt still lingers in your mind.
Oh, come on. I'm taking Wallace to that restaurant that we went to last time.
Do you remember how much that place cost?
Don't worry, I have plenty of gold.
Am I the only one on this team not making any gold?
Why don't you meet us there, Celeste? I need to talk with Tyrion for a moment.
We're gonna talk about this
All
thing.
right. Let's go, Wallace.
Okay.
You activated the Empowered Eye again, didn't you?
She doesn't appear to be appraising you. I did. Didn't really have a choice.
The Eye of Horus is a powerful tool, Tyrion. But that's twice now that you've used the Empowered Eye to get out of a tough spot. You can't keep relying on it if you want to grow as an attorney. One day, you'll find a witness that the Empowered Eye won't work on.
It's worked on me. It's worked for me this far, though.
Oh, that's a
But
death
I
flare.
suppose you're right. I'll try to rely on it less next time. I've only used it like once per case. And that marked the end of another case in my career as a defense attorney. Another life saved, and another murderer brought to justice. I still couldn't shake this feeling of uneasiness. Was it guilt for what would happen to the faculty staff? Or was it something else?
Or was it the fact that I still am not getting paid for my job?
To be fair, we kind of chose that, knowing that.
Oh, man. Steelwind has been talking with the perps for hours. What's there to even ask at this point?
Turns out she doesn't trust his testimony. Something about his memories not matching up with the crime scene.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think he has mage blight, does he?
No, it's not that.
Are you sure?
She found that damn symbol etched into his desk. Or what did she call it? The purple mark.
Oh, for the love of not this again.
Look, if the little lady wants to chase the bogeyman, just let her. At least this time she's doing it personally instead of dragging us into it. Eris.
Oh.
Hey, caramba!
Hey! What's up with?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Who did this to your desk?
What has gotten into you? I've already admitted to everything. What more could you possibly want from me?
Where did this graffiti come from? What is this symbol? What is the purple mark?
I don't know. A student must have done it at some point.
Think very hard, Headmaster. When did you receive this purple symbol? Focus on the moment you received this.
Wait a minute. I remember it now. But how?
Well...
Lady Steelwind? Lady Steelwind! Area, what happened? Are you okay?
That was close.
Oh, shit.
Annihilation over medium almost made me forget.
Eris, what are you doing here? Why? Wait, I remember now. It was you put those ideas into my head. You're the one who told me to murder Bellwether.
Oh, you humans never fail to amuse me. I didn't make you do anything. Everything you did that day, all the planning, all the preparation, that came from your own mind. And I have to say, I was quite entertained with the scheme you came up with. Why, you even broke into Miriam's room? I didn't know you had it in you, old man.
You made me forget about our conversation. But how? Illusions can't affect the mind. Magic can't affect the mind.
It's a shame, though. I would have much rather turned Wallace into the antagonist of this chapter. Could you imagine it if he turned? It would have been spectacular.
Oh my word, she
Armies
literally is
of
Monica.
Undead, running rampant in the streets. But alas, even I couldn't corrupt his pure soul.
Answer me. Who are you? What are you?
Oh.
Who am I?
Eris is eating the fucking microphone.
I'm the Lord of the Sixth Circle.
Woo!
Whoa!
Sorry, hang on. I just need to clarify. All pillars, not circles.
Wait, what? Did it end?
Yep, nope, that's it. That's it for that chapter.
Wait, that's a oh, it's a chapter. Okay, thank God.
So
yeah, no, that's the end of the game. Thanks for playing.
So the first thing I came up, like I just did a quick Google search. First thing I came up with, Sixth Circle of Hell is reserved for heresy.
I mean, yeah, no, Sixth Circle of Hell is very possible. And it would make sense because she called us a Heavenborn. So we might be getting into that kind of stuff next time. Oh god. This game.
Remember when Miss Tamora said we might run into somebody that we can't use the eye on?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think we found her.
100%.
We found her.
I think we found her.
Also.
No, I don't think we did.
Oh.
Because the eye, like what we're seeing with the empowered eye, is subconscious. So.
Yeah, but she can control
people forget.
Yeah, she can control people's memories. That's gonna really make things interesting as we go forward in this game.
I've been here for a few minutes and I already
Exists.
fell in love with voicing a character who is already dead.
God, I love this fucking game. Honestly, I kind of hope the next case is us trying to defending Steelwind. I hope next case is us defending Steelwind for the murder of
There's a good chance of that.
Yeah.
Because she
I'm
was
curious,
the last
hang on.
one talking
Let's
to
look
Red.
at that.
I was. Oh yeah.
That
the
gives
origin of
nothing
Horus.
away. That gives nothing
origin
away.
of
Okay, we're not gonna look any further into that.
Horus.
That gives nothing away.
It's probably there's going to be an in-between chapter before it hits the big
Maybe.
thing.
I don't know. Who knows? Who's to say?
I wasn't expecting to pull out my Eggman voice, my Robotnik voice. That was fun.
Maybe that is the next prosecutor when we're defending Steelwind. Maybe that is just a look at the next prosecutor. I don't know.
What, Old Man McGucket?
I have to say, my favorite part of calling, hey, you're starting to pull out your Eggman voice, is that he proceeds to fail at programming.
That's very funny.
That was partly the joke I went with. That was actually chosen.
Alright, well. I suppose join us next time for the origin of Horus.
And Old Man McGucket.
Thank you all so very much for stopping by. Take care of yourselves.
See ya.